Hey everybody, Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike. I got a quick unboxing and a hangout for you. It just depends on the chat. Say hi to everybody. I got a small group going. I saw Phil. I saw, let's see, yep, poor Mike and a small grill. I saw Mr. Wong there. He's got a squirrel and nuts going. And I saw Travis earlier. Station Travis. Um, can everybody hear me okay? Make sure on that front. If anybody's there, give me a thumbs up or something like that. But I actually have it came in two different Geminis. What's up, Beefit? How's it going? Hope everybody's good. Um, what's up, Nosfeast? All right, thank you very much. Um, Phil, you are chatting. All right, so I got I won an these are auctions from Brian at LCS. He had an auction on Sunday, and a bunch of people attended from the community. And I ended up, grabbing a couple things. I spent all this was less than 17, including shipping. So, I mean, in my opinion, it was a big steal. I mean, he was letting stuff go. If I had more money, I really had a $20 budget, like $10 for shipping, something like that. And I was trying, just curious. I recently went to Tylox's auction and bought some stuff from him. Um, I'm quickly, since I already know what this is, I'm not going to do it. That's why I didn't do this in a recorded video. Um, I hope everybody's having a great Thursday. Yes, that's actually the grail that I'm talking about is that fatal attractions that we'll get there. But it's not a big grail, but for me it is. It's more like when we talk about that nostalgic, and we know what was in the box. Neighbor, what's up, neighbor? Um, but he's getting better at packing. Brian was one of my first AOKs. He wasn't the first. Hey, Sheena, what's up, Sheena? Got royalty in here now. Thanks, Sheena. Um, but Brian was, I think he was like my second or third AOK, so I can definitely say his shipping has improved a lot. It wasn't bad back then, but I mean I mean he has learned a lot. You can tell in the matter of like 6 months because I have not got a shipment in a while. Um, I'm actually going to try and go live every day, today, tomorrow, and on Christmas for people that don't have anything to do, kind of thing. Give y'all some place to hang out and what's up, brother Roscoe, man? Um, send away for Club Sheen. I wish. When does that happen? They already started their film chat. When do we start getting memberships? Ooh. Trying to get painters stuff, huh? All right. Everybody say hi to everybody. Yeah, but I'm gonna try and go live today, tomorrow, and Christmas. Give someplace nice little hangout. Just shoot the shit. Talk about anything that anybody wants to. Um, I'd be down for the decoder ring. You know what I'm saying? What happened to the decoder rings? How come no one has done that? Like you talk about one of the flyest, like cheapest kids gimmick toy. Like how come no one has done that? Like for Stranger Things, how come we didn't get like a decoder ring that went with the, I mean, I even bought the damn game with Stranger Things and it still didn't come with that shit. Um, okay. Like I said, since I already know what this is, it's not really a mystery. It's a mystery for anybody that wasn't there in that auction. And if you were, feel free to look away, because it's gonna be the same shit that you saw during the auction. um, no, but for me, it was some big wins, and I'll show you why. I've been trying to collect. They still sell sea monkeys, fool. They sell sea monkeys everywhere over here, like Walmart's, like 99-cent stores. Like you still have to like mail away for the. Well, I think so. I think you have to mail away for the actual sea monkeys. But I think I'm like, man, they sell them everywhere. 99-cent stores, like gas stations. I've seen them with little like kits. Um, so I've been trying to. A lot of this is a mix. It's really like Marvel and DC. Um, but I've been trying to get just events in DC. I haven't read a lot of like past events, like Final Crisis and the big ones. So I've been just trying to pick up any events that I can on the cheap This is one of the first lots that he had, but this is and it's actually one of the hated in the DC community. So I'm kind of glad I got the whole set so I could actually check it out and read it. But this is an Identity Crisis #1, and it's the whole lot. I do like all the covers, so even if the read is bad, I do like. And then plus that, it's like achievement unlocked, a set done. I don't have to worry about this. They were all nice newsstand. They're all like really nice copies, but that's issue #2. And he was very. See, he's sitting Ozfest saying it's a great read. So I've heard from like several different people that didn't like it. I know like the plot twist in it and stuff, because that's the problem with all these events since they came before. And by the time, if you're an avid like DC reader, they kind of like fill you in on some of the major plot points and stuff like that. I love this cover, man. I'm a low-key Wonder Woman fan, and I just love that, the lasso of truth. I love when they make it glow. I think that's dope. But that is issue #4. I know it's a cheap and simple aesthetic, but still, I love this cover with, and I'm pretty sure that might be Tim Drake, maybe, because I don't think it's Damian yet. He would have been too young for this, but this is issue #5. I want to say it's Tim or Dick. I'm not sure. And yeah, I said Dick. Oh, we got issue #6. There, I mean, I was looking at each. I mean, there's not even spine ticks on these suckers. It's crazy. And then #7, I love that, and all their little outfits hanging out. That's cool. Next up we have. I'm gonna wait and open up this other one because it kind of goes with that one. But the next up, all the rest should be Marvel. It's like I want to say it's like a small little like X-Men lot, and then I think the other one is like a Spider-Man lot. Spider-Man's big right now, and I'm really trying to go around the box on multiverse in general, not just Marvel, but DC as well. I feel like that's both of the franchises. That's what they're doing. We're getting the Flash, and they're about to do the multiverse there with the 52. Jump on point. Hey, what's up, Brian? You definitely don't have to watch this, man. This is all the stuff you just sold me. Yeah, but thank you very much, Brian. I was just stating that everything was nicely packaged, and it looks like you have learned some stuff on your packing ways. It is very nice. But all these comics so far have been really clean. I want to say they all look like 9/8. I'm looking at one right now, and it's one of the ones I got excited for, because that whole lot right there, I wanted, and I think that lot right there, I want to say honestly, I bought 3 lots, and I think each lot was like $1 or $2 or $3. And like, of course, nobody bid on the DC. DC gets no love, and that's fine with me because that makes DC a hell of a lot cheaper. But for some reason, I mean, there was quite a bit of people, and it might have just been bad timing or something like that. I want to say Brian did well. I want to say he didn't do like super well, but he did, he had quite a bit. I want to say there was like 20 something people there or something like that. And I want to say there was a couple bids that I lost out at. There was one bid I lost out specifically because I was trying to snipe it. I was trying to like, put in my number at the end and trying to beat out, because I can't even remember what the lot was, but there was another one that I wanted bad. I even had a friend that was on the phone with me watching as I was doing the auction, and he was like, bro, I'll front you the money. Just go ahead and get it. I know you want it. And I was like, nah, I'll get it again, Let's see what he said. Pretty good. Got shipment today as well. Post my video. See, nice feasting. I know we were battling like back and forth. There was a couple of us. And I like the way he did it too. He was like, he would put up a lot, and he was like, it would sit there for a second if like it didn't get a lot of hits or anything. He would kind of like, he would ask the chat like, hey, are you interested in this? And he would allow everybody to like, nah, pass, kind of thing. So it moved it along. It's kind of nice. Made a few bucks, and everybody got some good deal. Are you kidding? What book was it, Mike? I don't remember. There was one book that I wanted specifically, Oh, I know what it was. It was X-Men #1. It's not big or anything, but I'm trying to recollect that 90s X-Men run, and I have the keys already. I already have like first appearance of Omega Red. I already have like second appearance, such. I'm missing like certain issues, and I think I have like two, three, four, five, six, and I'm missing like one. It's something that I want to read and review for the channel, and I can read it easily, get it digitally or something like that. And I've read it before. I think I've read the original, the reboot, 90s X-Men. I think I've read it like twice or three times, but not the whole thing. Maybe like the first 25 issues or something like that. But it was an X-Men lot, and it wasn't just that book. It came with like X-Men #1. It had like, I think it had like the second appearance or the first appearance of Omega Red. It had quite a bit of like earlier key X-Men titles from that 90s reboot. All right, hold on, let me see. Because now on these two lots, I kind of like, I only focused on the one that I was really excited about, and so a bunch of these I kind of don't know what I'm gonna get because yeah, you're not playing. He had a lot of good books. I mean, Brian, I have already like gone through your website, and if I had more money, and then trust me, I already got your website saved because this boy got some killer books going for cheap. And I'm not like joking. He's got some like I would say for me, it's like run fillers, that. But I mean, compared to other parts, like he's got one book I can call out specifically. It's uh, it's the Dark Knights 3. It's the Master Race. It's the third part into Frank Miller's the older, the Dark Knight books. But it's like he has issue #8, I think it is, and I only need like 3 issues out of that series, and 8 happens to be one of the issues I need. And I think he has it for like a couple bucks, like $2 or something like that. No, but so if you do get a chance to check out, there it is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Um, if you do get a chance to check out, hey, what's up, Mr. Shadow? Um, I've got Chip Getler in the building, everybody. And yeah, man, I'll definitely be there. Um, Yeah, but if you do get a chance, check out, that's a lot of people, make sure you, go check out our bios on our Instagram, or make sure you look at our about on YouTube, because, there's a lot of stuff. Like Brian has his eBay site linked up to his YouTube. All you got to go to, you just go to about on YouTube, and it shows you like his links. And I mean, he's got some good stuff, and it's not just Marvel, it's not just DC. He's got some Valiant. I think he's got the Prophet, one of the Prophet books that everybody's looking for, and I've already got one. All right, we got Faust Comics. What's up, Faust? Be excellent to each other and party on, dude. That's right, man. And thanks to Chet for that static poster I got back there. I kind of changed it around. I have right now in the back. You can't see it, but I put a saga poster in. It's for the continued saga that's about to start. And then static. I picked them up a couple months ago, and I hadn't gotten around to changing it around. And I do that. If you've been watching my channel, I do that quite often. Well, I get tired of the layout. All right, so here's the other books. Okay, so this is a Wolverine lot. We got this was like my most excited lot that I got. That set right there, that DC Identity Crisis was pretty cool, especially because I think I got it for like $2 or something like that. This one I think I got, I don't know, I don't remember how much I bought, but it wasn't that expensive. I don't remember. It was like $3 or $4. So I got, it's Wolverine #41 in a clean newsstand. Um, I'm not really recollecting Wolverine. I've had it once before, so I'm not trying to recollect it again. But I mean, if I pick stuff up, I pick stuff up, kind of thing. I got 37, which is really cool, with Lady Deathstrike. I love Lady Deathstrike. Even I think they're calling her like Lady Deathstroke. Yeah, same here. I know me and you were going back and forth on a bunch of stuff. I know there was one I was like, on this one specifically, I was like, man, I hope I get we got Wolverine #5, which is dope, man. You talk about like getting like close to the earlier issues. I love that. All right, so we got, I guess it ties. I guess this is Wolverine's main series. I don't know how this works out, but this is Wolverine number 42. This is the crossover to Civil War, and then I also got 43, which was Civil War. And honestly, Brian, that's kind of because he said Jimmy G bought a stack, and him and Nom Nom. Um, Yeah, he won like 4 or 5 lots. He beat me out of two, and that's when I started getting aggravated because then Nick's Kicks and Comics and Jimmy came in there and they were throwing down big money right off the bat. I was like, "Hey, he's starting at $1, man. Play it out." Um, and I just couldn't compete with the big money. Like I said, I had a budget of like 20. The other thing was like, I mean, because he was doing these nice sized lots, because I'm not even done showing this one. I was worried about shipping, and he said something about like but under 20 comics, it was like $10. So I knew I didn't want to pass that up either, was another thing. Cause he had like 2 or 3 lots at the end. I really would have bid on it and probably won, but I was more worried about the shipping because this was already a lot of comics. So this is the key that I'm most like happy to rehab in my collection, but this is more like a nostalgia key, but it is a key. But this is the Fatal Attractions Wolverine issue number 75 with that holographic on the hologram card on the cover, but basically the issue where Magneto rips the adamantium out of Wolverine, and he is, he has to. Yeah, that's when we finally found out that Wolverine's claws were not something that they surgically, grafted to his body. That he always had the claws, and that's kind of when they started, right? Juicy '90s holla. Um, but that was when we found out that he was a lot older. That was when they started uncovering in that. It was like right before they did X-Men 1 in the movies. But last but not least, we have a Wolverine Top Secret issue number 15. And a lot of people show this comic off, but they don't actually show it off. But it's on one of these covers where it's like this, but it actually, it's like, it's supposed to be like that. Where you can see the claw marks through that's the real cover. Um, and yes, that is correct. He did the bone claws. I think I think like issue 78 or something like that, he fights that guy Cyber or something like that, and he has adamantium arms, and it's like the first time he gets his bone claws crushed, and it's kind of the first time Wolverine's put out of commission for a while. Um, he did. They do the bone claws for a while before. Honestly, I don't even know how they graft the adamantium back on to his bones. I didn't read that far into X-Men. Yeah, I thought that was like one of the greatest parts of the story because they came after that. Logan's healing factor was really messed up, no joke. It was actually one of my favorite parts of the story because it kind of like, I mean, up until that point, Wolverine was like, it's one of the reasons Wolverine was one of my favorites growing up because he was just this unstoppable badass. Not only could he heal, he had the adamantium skeleton. He was kind of like, at X-Men's like, if they can't do this, we'll save him for last kind of thing, and then we'll throw him in there. They either ran him in first, and he was like the stealth crew where, I mean, he would, finish the mission before it even got started, or like he was like the last, like, to go berserk or something to save the day, him or Jean. But it was like up until that point, that was like the first time where it was like they couldn't really rely on him anymore. I love the fact that he's Canadian. Here in America, it was like this weird thing back in like the 90s. So when I was growing up, everybody thought he was Australian. I don't know why, but there was like this weird and it kind of even bled into the cartoon because if you remember the cartoon, he's wearing a Candor hat, which is an Australian hat, which it didn't make any sense for Canadian to be wearing like a Dundee hat. I don't know. So that was the Wolverine lot I got, and I got one more lot. But that was the big key for me right there was that Spider-Man. I mean the Wolverine number 50, the Fatal Attractions. Um, Next up was a Spider-Man 2099 lot, and some of them are from. It's like a mix, but I mean, come on, Spider-Man 2099 is extremely hot right now. I already have like one, two, like 4, 6. So I've just been trying to pick up like random issues as I can. I read like I want to say the first couple issues of Spider-Man 2099, and for some reason I dropped off. Um, yeah, y'all, don't y'all too, Phil? And Maine. Maine's got the lobster, right? Oh yeah, and Hugh Jackman, right? They picked an damn. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, they picked an Australian. So there's more into the whole myth that. No, I think it's a comic. I think there's a comic that, and one of the comics they stated, because I know when they brought in Wolverine, they were doing this international, like, because they brought in Storm, they brought in like but it was supposed to be like this international mix of new mutants that they were bringing in. And I know there was this one, and I think it's a dentist comic. I think it's one of those like dentist releases or something, and some reason in that comic it stated that he was Australian or something like that. So I think that's where it came from. Xmas lobster, that's what I want. All right, Brian, thanks for stopping by. Have a great day. I know everybody's busy, and nobody that needs to stick around don't have to stick around. I'm just doing this because I'm bored, kind of thing. And maybe there's some other bored people out there, or you just need somebody to listen to. All right, so I got Spider-Man 2099, and then this is issue number 9 of 2099, and I don't know what's going on with the different Spider-Man 2099 on the cover, but I'll find out eventually. But it is an issue that I need. Actually, none of the comics I got today were the only one that I did have out of everything I got today was this one. I have the newsstand version of this, but I mean, yeah, that's what y'all do. Yeah, Christmas lobster. It's kind of like what we do down here in Texas, because down here in Texas, like most everywhere in America, it's usually like turkey or ham or something like that. And down here, since we're kind of like connected to two like major nationalities majorly, but that's Creole and then Spanish. So it's you're either going like down here, it's usually like gumbo, which I'm doing. I do gumbo every year. And we kind of do that, and that's how I grew up with. That's with my family. We always had gumbo every year. We always had turkey and like ham and stuff like that on Thanksgiving, but Christmas was always like gumbo or something like that. The other side is going to be like menudo or like pozole or something like that. And out of the two, I prefer pozole. I can, but that's what they're going to be eating down here for like a week, man. Is pozole. And if you never had pozole, it's pretty good. It's just it's like it's just basically like hominy and like salsa toppings, kind of. All right, so Spider-Man 2099, number 9. Spider-Man 2099. I think this is volume 2. I think so. But this is issue number 24, and I don't have any of the newer. Like when I was picking up Spider-Man 2099, I was trying to stay with the volume 1, but that doesn't mean I don't want it in my collection, kind of thing. I hadn't started on it yet. The next one is, and this one's dope because it's a variant edition, but this is Spider-Man 2099, issue number 8. I like the cover. All these were extra in this lot. That's not the one that I wanted, and the last one is the one I'm saving. But I mean, since I didn't have any of these, like, why not? I don't know what it is, but I'm drooling. I bet. Talking about food, man. Some places it's lunchtime. I just got done eating lunch before we started. All right, so this is the book I really wanted out of this lot, and this is Spider-Man 2099, number 1. And I want to say this is volume 3 because I think this is 2019 or 2020. It was recently. I don't know, but I think this is like the last two are main continuity. Like he's in because the original series he was in it was during that year 2099. I put a lot of okra in my gumbo. Not an overbearing amount, but I like okra in general. So I could tell you what I put in it. I put crab claws and crab legs. I do fish, but it's just imitation fish. Like it's like the crab meat mix. But I do crab legs, crab claws. I got scallops. I got shrimp. I got 2 different types of shrimp. We use jumbo, and then we do the coconut shrimp. And then I got something else that I could throw in there. But then I do the okra, and then I just do like a base gumbo mix. I only had made it through issue 4, and it's about the time I stopped collecting anything. Yeah, I want to say around, it was around the same time for me, somewhere around there. Like, yeah, I think it was like Doom 2099. I had like the first couple of issues of that. It was like Ravager and Hulk and all the other ones. The only one that I really like that I read through was X-Men 2099. I don't know why. Like honestly, out of all those, I was a bigger Spider-Man 2099 like fan back then in '93. But like honestly, for some reason, I've read X-Men 2099 twice. I think completely through, and I've owned it twice. Where like it had gotten stolen, and I repicked it up, and like um it's so weird though, like, and the fact that they have not used it or not they don't even mention X-Men 2099. I always thought that was funny, even though it does have some descendants from, and I can't remember who it is. I always draw a blank. I think it's like a relative of Colossus and a relative of like Archangel or something like that. I can't remember. Um, but that was everything I got. That was $17. I mean, that's not bad. I got like 3 whole lots of stuff. I got that whole set of Identity Crisis, the Spider-Man lot, and the Wolverine lot. And that Fatal Attractions is a book I've been looking at for like maybe a couple weeks that I was going to buy. And everywhere that sells it, it's like a $10 book, something like that. It's not expensive, but it's just, I mean, I got it for like $2 with the other Wolverine books, or something like that. It was like 2 or 3 bucks. Because most of the lots that I won on, they were like $1, $2, $3, something like that. And then the shipping was like, yeah, it wasn't that bad. Um, 1 second, I'm thinking. Um, I want to appreciate everybody that is listening to me ramble and talk. Um, show off my weird comics. I didn't want to do a straight video because there was quite a lot, and plus that, I mean, most people were at the auction, so I want to do that too. But like I said, I'm gonna do the streaming thing where I stream like today, tomorrow, and the next day, probably on New Year's too. Not New Year's night, but maybe New Year's Day, something like that. I could tell you it's always gonna be random though. I don't like the whole set schedule thing. Um, I know one thing, I have not had a chance to see Spider-Man yet. I know a lot of people have seen it and enjoyed it. I know there's all kind of talk coming out of that movie. Um, I did get a chance to watch The Matrix yesterday because HBO Max, woo, home movie watching. Um, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I was so glad, man. It's one of those times where I watched like 3 previews on it, and after the first preview, I was kind of excited, and then every other preview after that, I was like, they kind of showed the same thing, and comparatively, what they showed in the movie, special effects wise, it's kind of like 5 years ago special effects. The way, and I'm not hating. I've always been a Matrix fan. And for those of y'all out there, it is not 3 movies. It is 4 movies. Is the original. This is number 4, but the original, series. Even when you buy the DVD collection or the Blu-ray collection, it comes with 4 films. The Animatrix fits in between the movies. But they tied in the Animatrix again to this movie. And they did with part 2 and 3. There was like background stuff that was coming out, but I can say, and I'm not going to go into spoilers about Matrix, even though it is free for everybody to watch. It is HBO Max. It is also in theaters. I highly suggest seeing it in theaters. It was a good movie. Now, depending on if you liked The Matrix, you might not like it. Um, I know some people didn't like part 2 and 3, Reloaded, and what was it? Yeah, I remember Resurrection, or I think that's the new one, but Revelations. Um, but I think it depends on if you like the last 2. I really enjoy the Matrix, series in a whole. I like the lore. I like once they started getting into the viruses and programs being some of the enemies that you saw in the film. It wasn't just Mr. Smith. I was kind of like hooked in it at that point. That they had like that it wasn't just a main system that was trying to catch Neo. They also had these like like the computer viruses, and they also had like anti-spam software and stuff like that. I thought that was dope, and that was back in Reloaded when they started that. Um, like Phil saying he liked it. I liked it. I'm not gonna say it was like it's probably nothing compared to Spider-Man. I'm really glad that they just did this one a theater and a home release, because it's not to say that it wouldn't be good in the theaters. It's just I'm pretty sure compared to Spider-Man, Spider-Man's probably the more like spectacular or movie going event, where you walk out of the movie like hyped. Or Matrix. I didn't like finish the movie and I was like, yeah. I can say at the end of the movie, there's different parts of the movie that they kind of show flash forwards. I can say I'm really hyped up on that. What they like, supposedly, if they continue on with it, but the next two movies in this trilogy, it's kind of like the same thing they did in the first three, where they showed us like bits and pieces of the final, you know. But I really thought that was dope. I really thought I will say this: they did a really good job with surprises that weren't in the trailers. They did a really good job with explaining everything, like why, like Lawrence Fishburne is not in the movie, which he is, by the way, and that's not a spoiler. But no, I thought it was really good. Another thing that I've been binging through, because most everything I'm caught up on. I think either today or yesterday or something like that they drop Hawkeye. So I mean I gotta watch the last episode on that, which Hawkeye's been okay. It's not been, everybody hypes it up like it's the greatest Marvel show in the world. No, it's a good show. It's I like it because I like Hawkeye, and it's more of Jeremy Renner and that character, and I like him as an actor in general. Um, I did like the final tease at the end. I love that actor, and his portrayal as the kingpin and everything. I really dug that, that they're bringing that back in, that they're finally acknowledging some of their Netflix projects. I don't get that, why they started other projects during the MCU and they're not going to acknowledge them, like the Runaways or Agents of Shield. Or and it's kind of funny because Agents of Shield has numerous times talked about the movies or had it in Easter eggs, but the movies don't really. um I just thought that was weird. Like, why branch out and do TV and stuff like that, of major characters, and then you're not gonna have them included? Like, boy, I've been waiting for the Defenders to be running around. Like, I thought we were already gonna get that. Like in the second Avengers movie and the third Avengers movie, I swear to God, I thought we were gonna get like Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Daredevil in the background, like on a lower level, like street level kind of thing. Um, and shame on them, especially Jessica. Shame on them for especially not giving that to us, or like Punisher. Or are you kidding me? They could have had Punisher show up in Black Widow. How dope would that have been? Um, and the events that are going on right now, how does this not make any sense that Black Widow isn't there? I mean, that the Punisher isn't there during this whole like Hawkeye TV show, especially with the tracksuit mafia and all that. Another show that I've been binging the crap out of, though, because like I was saying, is I'm caught up on most of the other shows, Wheel of Time, Hawkeye, most of the big shows. But and I know I looked into Black Mirror. I know Phil is watching that one. He got sucked into that one somehow. But a couple days ago, The Witcher came out, the second season. And if you have not seen The Witcher, and for some reason you're watching Wheel of Time, I highly suggest checking out The Witcher, because even though it is based, like a lot of people keep saying that it's based off a video game, and it's not. It's based off a book that's based off of that was made into a video game that's now made into a TV show. Um, but Moon Knight will be the Punisher debut. Are you positive on that, or are you just guessing? I could see that being a thing too, though. I know, what do you call it? And I'm drawing a blank at his name, the actor that plays Punisher in the Netflix series. I know, I think John Bethamiel or something like his some weird last name, but and I do like the actor, but I remember him saying something that unless they stick to that style of Punisher, he doesn't want to play the Punisher. He doesn't want any kind of comedy. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want the Punisher. it's not that he has creative control over Punisher or anything, but as far as when he's acting as Punisher, he said he doesn't want to be like tied to any of the comedy, like Guardians of the Galaxy has and stuff like that. Yeah, the actor from he played Shane and The Walking Dead, but see, I don't know if they're bringing him back. But I think they were. I mean, I liked all those castings for the Netflix show. I like Jessica Jones. I liked all of them. I like the guy for Luke Cage. I like the guy. I even like the guy they picked for Danny Rand, even though a lot of people hated on the Iron Fist and his betrayal and everything. I thought it was okay. I'm not a super huge, Iron Fist fan or anything like that, but I mean, from what I've seen in him showing up in the animated, movies and his little stints in the comics and stuff like that. I mean, I kind of fit that. Um, The Witcher season 2, man, it has been dope so far. They up um they up the sets, the wardrobe, the cinematography, the special effects big time. But I can say one thing, the first season, it does a flip-flop thing where it tells a past and present story. Um and that's the first season. The second season, they have fixed that where it's just a constant, progression of a story. See, I don't know a lot about Swordmaster, man. I don't even think I heard about Swordmaster until the later 2000s. I don't even know, like, who he is, what his deal is, what his powers are. I mean, I thought, it's like how many Swordmasters we got? We got the Black Knight, now we got the Swordmaster. And as far as I know, if I'm not mistaken, I thought the Swordmaster was like an anime Marvel project that they carried over. I'm not positive. I know very little about the Swordmaster. Um, I don't know, but I know they've done that recently with the Daredevil and Elektra. I don't know. People complain about that. For instance, the Punisher's symbol, which came out in New Agents of Atlas. Damn it, that's why I need to pick up the book. I know there's like 5 or 6 first appearances in the book. Um, what do you call it? No, but the Punisher thing, I don't think that's his permanent new symbol, guys. Everybody's freaking out about that new symbol. I think that's just like the Spider-Man like 62 costume change, and it's just going to be there for like a couple issues or something like that. Especially because the comic synopsis doesn't say anything about an alien war or nothing like that. And that panel, it looks like it's not on Earth kind of thing. Um, Especially, have y'all seen the first cover for Punisher #1? It looks dope, man. I saw like 2 or 3 of the variants, and it just looks nice. And in my opinion, I mean, we didn't have Punisher in 2021. Like, and it's one of my main complaints about Marvel right now is they're not using all their main characters. I get that you're like focusing on new characters and stuff like that, but why can't you be focused on the old characters too? And yes, we got Spider-Man, yeah. But there's a lot of other, big ones that aren't there, like Ghost Rider, man. That like I am a huge Ghost Rider fan, and like I know they've given us like a couple like tie-ins, and I bought most of them, but like, I mean, why don't we have a main Ghost Rider comic or Punisher comic, or it's kind of strange that they're not even using their main people kind of thing. Um, yeah, see that, like, honestly, that was the first thing that I thought of was it looked like the hand, but it looks different. But I'm not current with how they look now. I don't even know who's running the hand. The last I heard, Sabretooth was during the Death of Wolverine thing. So I don't know who's running the hand right now. Um, for all I know, it could be Stick. Stick turned bad. Um, no, but The Witcher has been really, really good. I think I'm in like the fifth or sixth issue, the fifth or sixth episode right now, and it's been really good. Trying to fit episodes in there. Matrix took me like 4 hours to watch. I kept having to pause it. Um, and another thing, Matrix was actually a decent length, like 2 hours and 21 minutes, something like that. I was pretty surprised. I thought it was going to be like an hour 50 minutes or 2 hour movie. So I like that it was that they kind of made it a little longer. um I want to say the first 20 minutes though, it's got to be nothing but like catching you up from the first three movies, which I mean I liked, but I can see how people won't like that. Especially if they like binged all three movies right before they did this. I'm trying to think. Hmm. Trying to think, is there any other TV shows that y'all know of this uncle? I know they started like a prequel show to Yellowstone. I know one of my good friends out there, he's watching it. I think it's called like 18 something, 1833 or something like that. It's on Paramount. I'm not I'm a Western fan, but I'm an older, well, not, no, I'm a Western fan. It doesn't really matter, modern, older. It doesn't matter as long as they got like some cows and some horses and some guns, Um, but I don't know. There's something about like the Hatfield and McCoys and Yellowstone, and I'm not I'm not really that fond of that kind of cowboy stories. I wouldn't even know if I'd call them cowboy stories or something like that because Halfield McCoy's is just about like liquor, them fighting over who's making the ale or what is it, moonshine. Um, does anybody know about any other movies coming about that anybody's excited for? I mean, now that we had Spider-Man come out, now we had Matrix come out. What's next? Yeah, the next thing I can think of is in April. Um, I know there's always something that drops on my birthday on February, but I can't think of what's coming out in February. Mm, Hmm. Still got like 60 y'all here. I want to thank everybody for chilling and stuff. You know, I did the whole unboxing and everything. That went really quick. Is there anything anybody wants to talk to? I can always, if anybody wants to hop in here, I can always like, let's see. Yum, 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 yum. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We got the Book of Boba Fett. Thank you, sir. How did I forget that? We got the Book of Boba Fett and we got the Mandalorian season 3 coming out. Um, I know there's something else I'm blanking on. Um, yeah, but see, that's the thing. I don't even know if Book of Boba Fett's going to be. I think it's just going to be a movie. I don't even think it's going to be like episodes or anything like that. I think it's just going to be like an hour and a half or 2 hour movie, something like that. I'm hoping it's episodes, but I, I mean, unless they put it on IMDb already or something like that. I haven't seen like episodes or movie. I have no idea what it is. And I mean, I've seen the preview from it. I've watched a series. Neighbor in the North says a series. I wonder if it's gonna be the same thing, like 8 episodes, because isn't Mandalorian season 3 supposed to be coming out like right after that? 6 episodes, okay. Did you sort out your raccoon problem? I did. Um, and for those of y'all that don't know, I did have raccoons. I've had raccoons in my apartment forever. If you've ever watched my videos and seen me like it was because I was like listening to like scurrying in my in my attic. I don't have attic access in my apartment, so I wasn't really worried about it. Um, but yeah, I could hear but the way our apartment set up is not just my apartment. It's it's set up long wise where it stretches on down that way. And it wasn't like I could hear them all the time over my apartment, but it's like every now and then I could hear something and I couldn't tell if it was like on my roof or in the attic. So I never really worried about it or said anything. No, but eventually, no, are you kidding? Like, if y'all knew, he said, do we befriend anybody? First off, these things they will steal your cat. They will steal your dog. We have had people walking their dogs, and luckily most people carry weapons around here because we have had those raccoons like hop behind bushes and stuff and grab dogs and run off with them leash and all. Um, I had one of my friends, he was walking his dog, and he literally had to shoot like it was like a pack of raccoons that had tried to take his dog while he was walking him. And this was like broad daylight, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something. You stay away from the raccoons, especially if they live near dumpsters. They are not friendly, and they can hurt the hell out of you, boy. They'll kill you real quick. Um, no, I mean, we got a lot of wildlife here in Houston and Texas in general, but raccoons are kind of like a normal thing. Possums, raccoon. I think we see them more than we see rats or mice, honestly. But nah, like usually they're around like wooded areas, but I live right by a wooded area, and that's why. No, but that day when I was doing a live, they came and oh my God, look at this. Where have you been, sir? Everybody's been asking about you. I hope you're doing okay, Nick. Um, they are, man. They gangster, boy. They be repping the block. You'll be, I mean, like, dude, I'll be walking, like to my apartment, and I'll take a turn or something, and there'll be like 3 or 4 of them just chilling in the middle of the walkway. I'm like, hell no, I ain't walking down that way. They'll gang up on it and be like, give me your wallet. A bunch of raccoons. We have, I mean, you can go to areas that where the raccoons are chill and stuff like that. That's like we have, like if you go here, we have this like main park. It's called Herman Park, and you can go there and like feed squirrels right out of your hand, kind of thing, and ducks will come up to you, and it's just because it's like a tourist spot, and then the animals know that we do that there. But I can go outside and I got squirrels out there. They ain't gonna run and eat anything out of my hand. And I start going to the squirrel, they'll be like, fuck that. And they'll take off running. Um, no, you're good, buddy. And I appreciate you being here, man. I was just wondering what happened to you. I haven't seen you in a while. I know a couple people in the community were asking about you, waiting on some more rants and stuff like that. No, yeah, man, I love raccoons. I think they're one of the coolest looking animals. But you quickly learn that they are not the friendliest animal. No, I had a friend. I don't know who it was, but they had a pet raccoon. Like it was like a friend of a friend or something, and then they had like a pet raccoon that lived in their house. And it kind of acted just like a dog. But I had a friend growing up, and they had a pet squirrel. And I always thought that was weird, but the squirrel will bite them. So that always scared the shit out of me. I was like, no, man. I was like, I don't want to hang out with something that's going to constantly bite me. Um, no, but that's, I mean, because down here, a lot of people don't know that, but you can have like, well, you don't have to have like license or like exotic, like, nah, like when I was growing up here in Houston, we have like two cities that are right next to us, but that one time they used to be a part of Houston, but it was Sugarland and Katy, and they're right next to Houston. And Sugarland, you can go there, and that's more the wealthier side of Houston. Most of Sugarland is nothing but wealth. Um, yeah, like they don't, there's obvious signs that you can't live out there and not have a good, good job or something like that. But the houses are out there are really expensive too. What's up, Nom Nom? What's up, comic book world? Yeah, man, I figured. Um, I mean, it's the holidays and stuff like that, man. If anybody disappears at this moment, I mean, it's kind of expected. It's the holidays, people with their families traveling. Most of y'all setups are at home, computers and stuff like that. So it's not like you can take your desktop and your laptops with you. Um, no, so I don't think anybody's tripping if people are taking a break off at this time. I know that this month specifically, like I want to say from November 12th to January 12th, somewhere around there. It's like the worst time in the world for people. I mean, they're dealing with relationship stuff and family stuff and money and presents and gifts and just thinking in general. So I mean, almost everybody I know, like these couple months, it's just the most stressful, the most. It, for one, it's not fun to be around those people because one, they don't know how to let it out. Like they don't know how to deal with it, or they don't know how to back off or stay away from people, stuff like that. Let's see if I rant in a mood, I'm in, get myself into trouble, I'll be back as soon. Yeah. I'm the same way. I can't, that's like this. I can't get on here if I'm mad. I can do rants. I don't have a problem with that. And I do have a buddy that, he is, when I needed to vent to someone, and he is there, and vice versa. I listen to a lot of people ranting more than I rant myself. I'm not bothered by a whole lot. I'm more, I take other things like more personal, but not really world stuff. I'm not bothered by, I mean, most of the time, that's why I'll see I'm in a jokey and non-serious fashion. I'm always serious, but I just try and live life with laughs. I think it's a lot funner. I mean, life's too serious, you know, yeah, it's like even in the business world, it's like I don't think enough of y'all take that time off to go laugh or go enjoy the world. Some do. Some remember that. Some it's like they get too censured into their their daily routine, and they don't break away from it, kind of thing. uh Especially hard for non-social people. Everyone is expecting to go places and spend so much time around people. Yeah, no joke. And that brings up a good point. If you're not a social person during this time, and you are like you said, you are being forced to be going to family, Christmas dinners or Thanksgiving dinners or family reunions or whatever it is. And I keep saying Christmas, just holidays in general. I know everybody celebrates different things. I did growing up, and I do celebrate Christmas now, but I didn't growing up. It was a little different. Um, no, but I know everybody has a hard time at this time, and I kind of laugh because it's kind of like it's almost like Christmas. Everybody has this, it's like we forget that the holiday's coming around, but it always happens the same time every year, same date. You know, um, yeah, like Phil makes that joke. I bought all my Christmas presents for like 18 years ago or something like that. And technically, you could, I mean, um, yeah, thanks, man. Um, I don't know if like I've looked at it a couple days, and it goes to 298 to 303, and then it goes back down. How the fluctuating stuff is. But yeah, I hit 300. Woo! um, I got one more milestone, and I'll be doing I can say this, I'll be doing a 400 giveaway sub push coming up. I'll show off some of the books I'll be giving away. I think I haven't decided on what the giveaway is, but it'll probably be like a mystery box with some signed comics and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do it like my first one where I gave the viewers the choice on what they won. I don't know. In case they don't like, what I get. Yeah, I don't know. But I will be doing that in a couple days. I know tonight, I'm gonna be on a actual Dracula show. I know me and Tylox are gonna be on there. I think it's 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'm Central, so down here it's like 9:30 for me. But I know I'll be on his channel tonight. I don't know exactly what we're doing. I think it's just a hangout thing, just kind of like this, which I'm fine with. The more people I get to talk to, that kind of thing. That's right, man. Look at me, 300, right? Um, for me, anything over six was like a plus, and like none of it feels real, kind of thing. But I didn't like as it grows, it's like no, but thanks. It does mean a lot. I appreciate everybody that subbed to my channel and stuff like that. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I think this one, and not talking mean about anybody, but I think this one was pushed back. But I think it's too because Tylox is working late, so I think they're just trying to accommodate. Um, but Dracula always kind of goes late because it's always like 9:30 or something like that when he does show, and it's always like it's like right when it's always at a bad time when he comes on. For me, I don't know, because I know he went live last night or the night before, and I was doing something, and I was like, man, if he would have done it like an hour before or something like that. but I mean, that's hard. And there's a lot of people going live, and I mean, it's always hard for like, especially when you know people and you don't want to cut them off. Like especially if like Tylux is going live right now, I don't want to cut him off, or something like that. Toronto people sleep all day. Um, man, it's super cold up there, so I don't. I mean, y'all hibernate. It's like bears, right, bro? I'm in a t-shirt, fool. It's like down here. It's like I want to say today it's like 80s. It's like maybe 81, 82, something like that. It did get cold like the last couple days, but our cold is like 70s. It was like high 60s, something like that. Nighttime it gets real cold. Um, Normally I am a night owl. I was when I started my channel. In my whole life, I've pretty much been a night owl. I've always worked late nights and stuff like that. But after being laid off and taking the break, I'm kind of not a night owl right now. On the weekends, I do stay up with the, the spine tech group and stuff like that. And I don't have a problem staying up. But usually, it's like the latest I usually make it now is like a general is like 12, unless I'm like watching stuff, and it could be like one or two or something like that. It is a negative 11 Celsius today. Yesterday it was 29 Celsius. I don't know Celsius, guys. But I know it's got to be hella cold. Yeah, man. Um, he had just asked me on, I think Monday. It was like spur of the moment. I don't know the reason why. Um, I don't care. I love Dracula. I always have since he started. He's kind of been in my group. Yeah, me and Journey. Um, Freaky Louie and stuff like that. So I've known Drax since I started, YouTube. He's, and he had started, a good, not too much before me, but a little bit before me. But the actual Dracula was one of those names that I had heard in the beginning. Sheena was another one that I heard in the beginning. That it was kind of like, man, I had to know these people. Everybody's talking about them, kind of thing. Chop and Drop 2013. Um, no, but they like a big guy in our community, Mr. Shout Out King himself, Samurai Kin, K Titus. I don't know what his new channel is called. I know unfortunately, he got hacked, and I think he lost all his subs and stuff like that, or he lost. I don't know what it was. I think he just lost his videos or something like that. I know a couple of people in our community have gotten hacked recently. Um, so if you do get like if you get a notification from like a channel saying, hey, this is my new channel, it's probably them. It's not like a YouTube's gonna hack your account kind of thing. I'd be more worried about it, the hacks on Instagram. I want to say per day I usually get about 10 to 15 scammers that in one way or another they try and scam me about something. Hey, send me your cash app. Hey, where are you from? Like, hey, you want to go read my bio for like 2 seconds? It'll help out a whole lot. It'll fill you out and all that stuff. And then you come back and you talk to me. No, but that's how you can tell the scammers, because they don't even do that. I mean, they're like, hey, can you send me a picture of you? Like, do you not know I am on screen like 80% of the day? Like, you want a picture of me, just scroll down my page. Um, Yeah, I know Nom Nom, comic bookworm was in that auction that I was. Most people missed it, but I kind of already shown everybody. I was there, but that was the lot that I showed off in the beginning of this, in case anybody was curious. It's not like a false, I'm not catfishing you. um, no, but unless anybody else wants to talk about anything, or I'm almost at the hour mark. Um, I'm probably going to end it here unless you'll have something, of interest to keep it going. I mean, I can keep on rambling, but there's enough people to, yeah, the puff pass. No, but that was my vape, not that puff pass. Um, No, that was from LCS's auction, and I can re-show it real quick because it didn't take me. That was from LCS's auction this past Sunday. No, no, Tylux's auction. I did a small video because it was like those 5 comics I got. Um, but I got that Spider-Man 2099 number 24. I think this is the second or third volume. Spider-Man 2099 number 9. This was all it was a 4-issue Spider-Man lot, and I think this one was like a couple dollars. I got a Wolverine lot. I got that Wolverine Top Secret. This was the comic that I wanted right here, which was the Wolverine Fatal Attraction issue number 50 or 75. I got these two Civil War tie-ins. I don't know how those work, if that because I know that's not the original Wolverine series, but maybe this is the second Wolverine series, something like that. I don't know. He just disappeared on me. I was talking. I was talking to him this morning, and I sent him a link. You know, hey, I'm going live. But I don't know. He could be busy. Semi-flavored juice. It's illegal here. The flavor juices? I only do tobacco, honestly. I used to be a cigarette smoker. I've been a cigarette smoker for like 27 years of my life. So I switched to vape about 4 years ago, something like that. And I've done the flavor ones, and I don't care for them. I like the like mine is just it's tobacco. Like it even says like bold tobacco. You know, that is a high like nicotine because that's the nicotine count. It's like a 36 mil. Oh, I did not know that. I did not know that. That flavored vapes are banned and are illegal or in Canada. I did not know that. Yeah, we have flavor. If you ever need me, you know, I'll send you some flavor vapes. I mean, we have like I don't know how it is in other parts in America, but here in Houston, we have vape stores like every block almost. Like they're not vape stores, they're like smoke shops, but they are like half the store is set up for vape stuff. I think kids will get it to vape. I could get that because they were kind of making a big deal. You know, over here they made a big deal in the news over here for like I want to say like a year, where it was like, ah, kids are dying from vaping and blah blah blah, if you didn't listen to the whole news report, like the news thing was very misleading, but it wasn't the vape thing. It was that it was the illegal like weed pens, and it was like the fake cartridges they sell like illegally, and they were putting vitamin E. When you smoke vitamin E, it's lethal. It becomes a poison when you heat it. Um, issue number 5, which I did not know was in this lot, but I love that. Earlier issues of Wolverine, heck yeah. Um, yeah, pretty much. And even then, you can go into convenience stores and like our grocery stores, Walmart, stuff like that, and they sell vape stuff there too, but it's not anything good. It's cheap. If you really needed an emergency thing, um, because I don't know, people don't know vape, but that's what this is tobacco, and that's what's in that part. And it, you know, okay, so this, the reason I switched, the main reason is because I would spend about $6 to $7 on a pack of cigarettes daily. You know, I smoked about a pack a day, 20 cigarettes. Um, and I did that for years, you know, you're talking about like, I mean, like $7 times like, you know, a month. I mean, it's like 400, 500 bucks a month, pretty close. Um, so I quit for this main reason because I buy this. This is here. It's like $12, like $12.99, and this lasts me like a month and a half, something like that. Like and that's all I buy. I buy a coil, like it's in the middle of that thing, you know, like in there. and like the coil is like $2, and the coil will last me like I want to say a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. So altogether like 15 to 16 bucks. Like I can go like a whole month and a half off of just 16 bucks. Um, I get that a lot of people don't like vape. I've tried to get people to switch, like smokers and stuff like that, especially smokers that need to save money, and they just couldn't get behind it. But it's preference and stuff like that. For me, it was that first day switching from cigarettes to, and there's been a couple times where like I couldn't afford my vape. So like like it wasn't no I could it wasn't that I couldn't afford my vape, like the vape store wasn't open or something like that, and like so I'd hit a cigarette, to take away the nicotine. Fiend, because a lot of people say that there is no like addiction, it is all in your head. Yeah, that's a BS. Because with me, if I don't have that nicotine within a certain amount of time, my throat starts closing up and it starts feeling like I can't breathe or talk anymore, and that's literally like my blood telling me that I need some nicotine. Asthma inhalers use the same compound in liver medicine as vapors. Yeah, that's right. um what's up, Empire Comics? What's up, man? um That's great. I've actually quit a bunch, but I've always quit for women. I've always quit because I was dating and they didn't like that I was smoking, and I'd quit for them and stuff. But like I've always gone back. It has nothing to do with addiction. I like being a smoker. I like the way I look smoking. I like the appearance. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I also come from a family of smokers, so it's like every not even just man, every woman and man in my family smoke, kind of thing. Um, and most of my family are still alive. You know what I'm saying? I got like 100-year-old, 90 people that smoke every day and still alive. I don't know. Just saying. Um, yeah, I don't have any kind of cancer or anything that runs in my family either. So, I like that. They tax the shit out of smokes, $30 a pack. New Zealand government is planning for a total ban in the next couple of years. It's hard, man. I mean, if they were $30 a pack, I would not be smoking at all ever. Maybe like it would turn into like a champagne kind of situation where like, hey, we're getting married. That was a good $30. No, if it got that expensive, I would just quit in general. I don't have the funds to, especially $30 a pack. Are you kidding me? Like, how much is that per cigarette? What is that like? Like $3 a cigarette? Um, like $2, something like that. I know, that's crazy. Take grapes. That was another big reason. Like a lot of places down here, it's like most of the places the past couple. I mean, like the past place I worked at was medical, so they didn't want us to smoke on the not on our breaks or anything like that, but they didn't want us to smoke on the whole property. We had to like walk like way far to go and take a smoke break. And I was all like, this is dumb. I mean, vaping. I mean, like mine. There's no smell. I vape. I can walk into a store and as long as nobody hears me, I can, and there'll be nobody that's like, somebody smoking cigarettes in here. No, there's no smell or nothing. I mean, but I do that on purpose. Like, I have one. I buy this one. It's not like the bold tobacco flavor, but it's called Oasis, but it's basically a tobacco flavor, but it has like a minty to it. I've heard people say that it smells like coffee, but that's about it. Um, I did it on purpose, like I don't want to offend anybody, kind of thing. And I do know that smoking cigarettes, it's smelly and stuff like that. Um, that's another thing. Like like even though I was a smoker and stuff like that, and I'll vape inside, I will not smoke cigarettes inside. Like I've like literally like I used to smoke inside, and you can literally like go to your wall and be like, and there's like a film that starts building up on your carpet, and it's so gross. Um, I actually lost electronics due to cigarette smoking. Like I bought like a 3D Blu-ray player, and like I think I had it for a month, and it went out. And I went and like took it back, and they refurbished it and stuff and had it cleaned. And when they had it sent back, they were like, "Yeah, there's a bunch of cigarette smoke in there." I was like, um, "Yeah, so cigarette smoke's not good for them, especially with comics, man." I love getting these older comics nowadays, and you're all like, "Yep, bro, smoke cigars," you know. um, no, but all right, so going back into that, but yeah, so I got Wolverine 37. All this was from that Wolverine lot. Wolverine 41. Most of these were newsstand too, which was kind of nice. I do not know about the fatal attractions. I do not care about the newsstand. Like with me, I will probably never. I would love to slab comics. Like if it was so much more easier to do. The problem is like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be in this apartment, or I don't live in a house kind of thing. Yeah, it is a newsstand. It's crazy. A newsstand. Oh, that's a direct edition, but same shit. Same shit. Yeah. The nice hall. That was the for me this is nostalgic. I love that. I want that whole set. The next one I'm gonna try and get is the Excalibur 77 that has the hologram on there. But the Excalibur, because I'm trying to complete that whole run. Um but yeah, that was in the thumbnail. That's the minor key that I got that I wanted. CBC is in Dallas. Ooh, I did not know that. See, I do like CBC, because that's like I can't take the other one down. That's like I do like the appeal of this one and everything. But it's like there's things on here. For one, they make a lot of mistakes. Like everybody knows what this comic is, right? This is Absolute Carnage #1. This is I think it is the Del Auto variant. But if you look right here, them motherfuckers messed up the damn cover. It says that this is the Art Germ cover. And they don't look like Art Germ to me. No, it is the Del Auto variant, and it was stated on the comic, and they still get it wrong. No, I'm in Houston, which is like I want to say it's like 3 hours from Dallas. I mean, it's like 4 hours. It's like right there because Dallas, Austin, Fort Worth, they're all more up north from me, but they're like I think Dallas is like 4, and I want to say Austin and Fort Worth is like 5, something like that. Um, Yeah, but I'm in Houston. No, but I did not know CBCS is in Dallas. So that kind of like, I mean, that means like my turnaround time should be like nothing. I don't know. Because I do have a lot of comics that are slab worthy, but that's always my fear is I don't have time to send away a comic, like let alone. Oh, just for like the 3 or 4 months thing. I mean, the $40 or whatever, that's not that bad, when I found that out, like, without somebody telling me that, and somebody was like, "Oh, that's a," like, you know, I always figured it'd be like a more expensive process. Like, I figured to get like a slab comic or something like that, it'd be like $100 or $200 thing. That's why I never had one up until like I was given all my slabs have been given to me. I've never bought a slab yet today. CBC does signature awesome. Mm. I do have some signed comics too. I have those Jim Lees, and Houston is about for, yeah, something like that. I want to say for me it'd be a little less because I'm like really really North Houston. But yeah, it's something like 4 hours. It's not that far away. And I know there are some other. I haven't met anybody. I haven't met anybody on YouTube from Houston specifically. I do know. Well, in the comic book world, I do know there's some gamers and some stuff like that. But like I do know that J2, he's in Austin. I do know that my boy Free Energy is in Dallas. Leo, um, Jim Mintz, and I think he's in Austin. He's either in Austin or Fort Worth. Might be Fort Worth. Um, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Nick Skicks and Comics. Nick Skicks and Comics is in. I think he's in Dallas. Dallas or something like that. I think he's in Dallas. Um, I think that's it as far as like Houston people, as far as I know. Where are you now, man? How you know some Dallas facts? You in Texas? You a truck driver? How you know? How you know? How you know about Texas? Hey, what's up, man, buddy? I gotta get used to doing that. I highlight the thing and then do the wave. I'm doing it backwards. I'm like, hey, man, buddy. Couple of flip side guys from Texas. I think. Could be. I'm not sure. I know Matt Spidey. He's in Australia. Um, he's Matt Spidey is that's a he's with damn I'm drawing I hate names drawing a blank. That's my boy Simple Simon and his girl and then go drive from OKC to DC all the time. And you do? Oklahoma City to Dallas is like 3 hours. Yeah, yeah. Because Oklahoma, I mean, it's kind of like Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma is like the way I would go is like a 5 hour, trip, something like that. It's the same for like Louisiana, and it's the same for like I want to say like Mexico for me is like 8, maybe 7 or 8, something like that. New Mexico's a stretch. Like for me to go to New Mexico, it would be I fly. My kids actually, my 2 older kids actually live in New Mexico, and when I go visit them, I fly because it's too long of a journey. Traveling like midway across Texas, hell no. Because I want to. It's long. Um, I'm drawing a blank. I drove there recently, and I can't remember. Used to sell at computer shows all over the Midwest when computers was a thing. They're still a thing, bro. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's dope. Did you work for like Dell or something, or IBM, or one of those older companies? Or um, what's up, Brian? Good to have you back, man. And nobody has to chill or anything. I'm just right now I'm rambling. Um, I don't mind rambling. I'm trying to do something. Give me a second because I meant to do this earlier. Mm, that's what I was looking for. I got it now. I can do that. I can do that. No obligation, but if anybody would like to hop on, I don't care who. The link is right there. The rambling part's the best part. I agree. I used to drive to San Antonio. I had my own computer refurbishing business. Oh, that's dope. Um, I have known people that did quite well with that business, and I know it was like back in the 2000s. That's actually my first job out of college was an IT job. I actually worked for Halliburton. I did that for a whole year, and then I got tired of it. I did, Dank. What's up, Dank? Dank Comics in the house. I did watch The Matrix yesterday. I'm sure you already answered this. Nobody asked me, but I kind of talked about it earlier, but I don't mind. Nobody really talked about it. I don't know who has seen it and who hasn't seen it. I will say that I loved it. I'm not going to say like super loved it. I liked it. I still haven't done my first live stream. Let me never say so. Wait, man. Man, am I getting you confused? You are Simon's friend, right? I thought you'd been on streams with Simon and are you talking about like by yourself and stuff like that? It's hard by yourself. um Especially because right now I'm looking at myself. That's my problem is not talking because I that's why you keep seeing me look around because I can talk. It's the talking to myself that bothers me. I think is the problem. I watched it. It was just okay. I mean, that's kind of like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like super knockout great either. I did love it, because it could have gone either way. I could have loved it or hated it, but it wasn't like so exciting. Like I had to run out and tell everybody, "Oh my God, you have to see that movie." I feel like Spider-Man is going to be that movie for everybody. But me loving The Matrix, I loved it. I thought it was another great addition into the lore, into the story. Um, hosted a live stream on my channel. Since filming. I mean, that's kind of my opinion about this movie is they were kind of like it felt like it was filmed like 5 years ago. It did not have today's level of special effects in it. I mean, yes, there were special effects in it, and they were okay, but like for the most part, it was like Neo just like blasting bullets away, and like I mean, we saw that back in like Winter Soldier. You know what I'm saying? Like and as far as the fight scenes and the choreography, I mean, I mean, basically, it was a rundown. I mean, that without going into spoilers, like if you have not seen this Matrix movie, the first 20 minutes is basically like my suggestion would be do not binge these movies before you go watch this movie, because the first 20 minutes was kind of like the retelling of the first three movies. I honestly believe that's why the movie is 2 hours and 21 minutes because the where the movie finally takes place is 21 minutes into it. I don't know if they did it on purpose. I thought it was kind of dope. Um, I will say it was only one of the I mean, I think that's so weird. I had to look that up because I had somebody tell me that the Wachowskis were women, and I was like, no, the original Matrix was done by two brothers. I did not know this, but I looked this up. But they are now transgender women. It is the Wachowski sisters. So I know I was bothered by that line when I saw that in the movie, like it was done by the original Wachowski sister, and I was all like, who the hell is his sister? I watched all the behind the scenes and I didn't see no girls on the set besides like Carrie Ann Moss and like Jada Pinkett Smith and um no, but that is the explanation that they at one point they kind of found out who they were really supposed to be and now they are women kind of thing. So that's the explanation on that. I will say somebody had kind of like said like in passing or something, they were like, I hope there's not a lot of the PC stuff in this movie, like woke stuff in your face kind of thing. And yeah, and it was just Lana. It was just Lana and not the and I don't know why both of them did not do this one. Now I did say that Liam was I don't know what Liam's real I think Liam might be Lana, and that's why I get confused. But I do know that one of them wrote it and one of them directed it. It was just that both of them didn't direct it. Um, and I might be wrong about that, but as I remember it, I remember seeing like a different one of the Wachowskis writing and then one of the Wachowskis directing. Um, I will say that there's none of that woke stuff. There's none of that, none of that PC and BS. I mean, it's like the more and more I think about it, there were parts of the movie I really loved, and there were parts of the movie I kind of didn't. I didn't. It wasn't bad. It was just like kind of boring. It was like I was waiting for the story to move along, and it was kind of like the beginning part of the story. Once they get into it, and they finally like they kind of know where, you know, the main plot. That's where the movie got good. Yeah, bro, I think I was the same thing, and I don't remember if I did think. Um, but right here, Comic Book Woman, it says, "Dang comics, I enjoyed your China take. I'm into comic, but I still thinking about what to say." And I was kind of the same way. I didn't really know what to say. I think I did, and I might have give you some generic thing. And I thought it was a great speech and a great video. But I was kind of the same thing. I didn't know what really to comment on that. You kind of touch based on a lot of things, and I kind of agree. I don't know why we're pandering to something like that. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like I understand that we owe them money, but I don't think we should be pandering to any other country, kind of thing. We should just be making the movies if they want to air it over there. That's up to them, kind of thing. Um, I will. Um, oh yeah, yeah, man. And nobody, I like the offer, and this doesn't have to be YouTube personalities, even anybody in the chat, this can, even if you're not a YouTube personality, you don't have to put your camera on either. You can just come on here and just be audio, don't be, we don't necessarily need to see you. And then that's something that needs to be said because a lot of people forget that. I mean, it's like my boy right there. There he is, right there. There he, I knew, I was hoping he was there, but like him, there's nothing wrong with seeing some hands, as long as you got a voice. And it's like how I mean, podcast or radio. I mean, we don't need to see people's faces. I've known radio DJs for years. I don't know what they look like, and I don't care to. I like their voice. I like them. You know, most of those people, once you see them, it's the same thing about meeting famous people. I agree. Gender neutrals. That's kind of no. That's not what they are now. No. Not in that situation. Um, No, but I will say I did enjoy the whole movie and everything. It wasn't a bore to watch. I was excited. I want to say for me, it's there's two scenes in the movie that really excite me, and it's not necessarily this movie. And I don't even know if this is a thing, so don't quote me, but I'm assuming they're doing the same thing. They're going to do a trilogy just like they did the first thing, and why not? Matrix sales, right? Um, I do believe that even though it wasn't the best movie ever, that it's still going to do well, especially since it has a digital, like a home release and stuff like that. I might not, and I mean, come on, any movie that drops at Christmas time, they do well, kind of thing too, because families are taking families to the theaters. Now I know it's got some steep competition with Spider-Man. Oh my God. Um, oh yeah, yeah, and that brings up a good point. Anybody that is, going to be up Christmas night, we are going to be on Comics Talk Weekly on Phil's channel, and we are going to be having our, Saturday hangout, thing there. We are going to be doing. It's not going to be a Christmas show. It's going to be after Christmas. Since Christmas by that time we will be done. There will be some Christmas stuff, but I think for the most part, as I was told, I think it's going to be like in a moving forward kind of fashion. What's going on, man? Got comics and pops and the Alonzo. I thought they overdid the meta thing. What you talking about? You talking about the Matrix, but what meta thing? I can say one thing that I kind of didn't like in the new Matrix was the swarm. There was this, and it's just the way they even talk about it. But like, and if you haven't seen I'm not talking about what you think I'm talking about. But if you have seen it, the meta. What you talking about, Brooklyn? I see what you say in the Matrix movie, but ooh, I can kind of agree. Because that was weird. It was like they were always talking in third person kind of thing. Um, China wouldn't. China loves the shit out of. Have you ever looked at his like all the people popping up in his chat? They're nothing but like Zhao Yang and no, I'm playing. I don't know. They might ban him just because he's so. He's controversial. This whole look at me thing. You better watch out. And him eating McRibs, and there he is. What the? Here I've been asking about you, Glenn. Hope you're doing okay, Glenn. Sheena was asking about you earlier. Uh, was Neo gender fluid? No, and I mean, that's part of the, because that part was the romance part. Um, he was not. No, but I mean, other than that, the only romance in the movie was just Neo and Trinity, and they kind of show that in the trailer, kind of thing. Um, I can say that the trailer did not disappoint in this situation. I feel like it was one of the best times when the trailer did not reveal a lot of the movie, because I know a lot of people were turned off about the Lawrence Fishburne thing. Don't they explain it and fix it, and he's still in the movie. Like it's not the way you want him in the movie, but I mean there's a big reason, and I can't believe I didn't think of this when I saw the movie. I thought they did that really well, but there is like in the very beginning of the movie they kind of explain something really quick, and you're like, oh, okay. Um, he's not a robot. He's the one. They did have gender fluid robots in the movie. They did. They had quite a few. Um, Neil Patrick Harris, he always plays a non-gender binary fluid character. You know, um, and speaking of which, did y'all saw that they're gonna do the sequel? Look at that! I got somebody in the heck yeah! All right, all right, all right, all right. How do we do this? How do we do it? Oh, look at that! We
Oh
got
ho
Christmas
ho.
Day.
Yeah.
How's it going? Dang comics.
Great. Yeah. I'm pretty much Buddhist, but I still celebrate Christmas.
Why do you celebrate Christmas? For the
I think
gifts?
it's because my immigrant parents wanted me to assimilate to American culture, and they never quite got it right. I don't think they knew that Christmas Day is when you open the presents. Christmas, like they don't understand the timing and none of that, and they never try to make us believe in like Santa and stuff. So that always was surprising when I was like growing up, and I'm like, oh wait, you guys actually believe that's like to me Santa was as real as Wolverine was. Like I never had a this issue of because no one ever tried to trick us.
Like the 180 and the 181?
Yeah, but yeah,
So you're just
how's
you
uh-huh.
just do the you just do the Santa Claus thing, right? You don't do the whole like do you do the whole religion thing? You do the whole nativity scene and all that?
Well, no, I used to actually. I used to go to church and we would do the nativity scene. The most boring play there is. Every year. But I did write plays for the church to do during Christmas instead. And the best one I did was about like a homeless guy and a con artist, and they're invited to a Christmas dinner because of like the con artist tries to hustle to get money from somebody for like ruining his shirt, but he like set it up so that the guy would do it. Anyway, they go to the house and they find out it's like a double con because it's the homeless man's family that he ran from when he was younger. And they secretly con the con artist to bring him back to the family. And during the chaos, the con artist robs the house. And the homeless guy is like, oh shit, I gotta go, right? And then the family's like, no, we don't care. Like, we don't care at all. And he's like, what do you mean you don't care? He's like, no, 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 like, we don't care because we love you. Like we just don't
Right.
give a shit. And he can't believe that they don't care that they got robbed, but they all genuinely don't care they got robbed. And that's the miracle. That is the meaning of Christmas. Um and it was a fun play because you can get kids to play parts and adults, and there's like these kid characters and everything.
Yeah.
Um yeah. I wanted to make a Christmas play that actually had a deeper message. I
That's
don't know if you
dope.
watched Ted Lasso at all.
Yeah. I love Ted Lasso.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So,
that there
so
was a scene at the end of the first season
yeah,
like that,
yeah, I was about to say I know what you're talking about now, but
right?
you ever
I
seen
knew that's Snowpiercer.
Snow Patrol? It's a like a
Oh
band,
no,
but for
no.
Spider-Man 3, they did the music video for Spider-Man 3 and they set it up in a Christmas place type style where they acted out the whole movie, but they
Oh,
did it in format with the little kids. They had like a little kid playing Spider-Man, a little kid playing Venom.
wow, no, I didn't see that. That's a music video.
Yeah, it's a Snow Patrol, and I'm trying to remember the name of the song. It's on the soundtrack for Spider-Man 3, but I'm bad with names. I don't know, but that's a dope ass video. But no, I know what you're talking about. Like yeah, because here, that's what I was explaining. A lot of people in like the UK and stuff like that, they don't realize we don't really do Christmas as like a national thing here. It's more like happy holidays. Like they don't really do it in school. Like, well, at least here in Texas, they got
Oh,
rid of it. They got
wait, you
rid of
don't
it.
get
Like,
you don't get the major holy holidays, the Jewish holy high days off.
they just do a holiday thing in general, and that encompasses like everybody's nationalities versus like just Christmas or something like that. They don't like here in schools. you won't go. They don't do Christmas pageants, or they don't do like at work. They don't have like like the Christmas. They got rid of all the Christmas stuff now. It's just like holiday this and
Well, I mean, what I do like about bringing in all these different cultures, you get more days off school. Like when I was a little kid, Yom Kippur wasn't a day off, and then now it's a day off. You know, like there's more holidays being added for days
yeah.
off. You know, and I would just be excited. I'm like, oh man, bring in more religions. I need, give me more days off.
Well, I know one time they were getting jib because they were shortening like winter breaks, and they were shortening because I remember like when we went to school, we got like 2 weeks off for Christmas or something like
Hmm.
that, or we actually
Yeah.
like we actually had a break from school, and like now, like I want to say it was like I think like up until recently it was like kids got like a couple days off for school and that was it, and they had to go back, and I was like, damn.
I'll say like I know part of the reasoning behind that is it seems other school systems in the world, they don't have the breaks we have, and they don't have like these long summer breaks that we have, and economists and certain like whatever, they think it's putting us at a disadvantage in a global economy, blah blah blah. But it's just training to be a worker for the machine. I mean, that's what school is now, I guess. I mean, I love the Montessori model. Do you know about the Montessori schools where you just let the kid do whatever they want? You let the kid just explore whatever they're interested in, and there's no
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
grades. Yeah, I would have loved that kind of school. That would have been perfect for me. I still have nightmares. I still have anxiety dreams of not studying for the test. Like I didn't do the homework. I have no idea what's going on in class.
I
And
did all that. I mean, I think that's everybody's like, I didn't because
you
I
still
didn't
have
go.
nightmares?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
not
you
now.
do?
No,
Oh,
no,
I'm a grown man. I still have nightmares about like
from
not
school.
reading
Yeah,
the school stuff.
it's to Montessori
Oh yeah,
school.
oh yeah. It's good for him. I mean, or her. I don't know. Or Um,
Up, look, Tylex got here. People are leaving. What's up, Tylex? And
mm-mm. Does he
yeah,
smell?
Rudy
Is that why?
on the comments. I don't know. It might be the mullet. He said, that mullet's got to shine, and some
Uh,
people that can handle, you know, it could be
you
like with
know.
Chuck Norris. When Chuck Norris entered a room, he was just intimidating kind of thing,
Yeah.
and it was people were like they either stayed or they were like, no, I got.
I mean, I hear it whenever Chuck Norris walks in a room. You gotta like have a sweater on hand because you start to get chills, so you can feel his presence. Like the fear sets in, and
That's
it's good to
great.
be cozy with a snuggie or something. Hey, Glenn, what's up? Um, before I went to college for the first time, or whatever, I was at Bed Bath with my mom. We were getting shit, and I told my mom, man, the one thing I want, the one thing I hope is not to get a smelly roommate. I was like, it's the one thing, right? And then I got the guy they called Smelly. I got the guy. I got the smelliest guy in the whole school named Smelly, right? So the thing was, though, he was very intelligent. He had all these amazing philosophy books. He had a jazz collection where all the jazz students would come and watch. And he like barely showered. And it was sort of a conscious decision not to shower because he would live in the mountains for long periods of time. He's from like Bumblefuck, Nebraska or whatever. And I realized like this is a cultural decision. So if I'm to be tolerant, I have to actually tolerate the stinky guy. And I tolerated it because I thought it was to me, I realized this is his cultural decision. Can
To
right?
be sting
Yeah, I
to
mean,
be his cultural decision.
he wasn't doing it to get attention. He was doing it because that's his philosophy of life is that you don't need to shower like. So I mean, he got lucky because I don't know. I was very tolerant. My friends would be like, "Time to take a fucking shower," and they'd be so upset how much it smelled.
Like, how do you break it down? You just give him gifts of soap bars and like deodorant and like you're
But I
constantly
found,
walking. It's like just spraying.
yeah, but a lot of kids made fun of. I never made fun of him. I never gave him any shit about it, and I was like with him all year, and
Oh
and
shit,
I'm
coming.
I think it taught me a lot to tolerate it. I felt like I had to be tolerant because it was I don't know, a thought through choice.
Look, Donna Comics says you don't need to shower. And I mean, technically, you don't. Um, it became like Stockholm syndrome. That's what neighbor to the north is asking you. Like living with that dude. Did it?
I mean, I don't know. I would light incense. I wouldn't be there a lot. I partied a lot.
I had the guy in college and never got out of his bed. He never went to my roommate. He stayed. I swear to God, he never went to class. He never went to
Hmm.
he just stayed in his bed, and he was there like I think 2 years. My first, and he just it was the only thing that was awkward was like when I had to bring a girl back to the place, and it was like he was always there. He never left, and I was like, bro, can you leave for like 30 minutes or something? Like move. Nah, he stayed. So he'd watch. No, I'm
Mm.
playing. All right, we got a comic journey over here. The school systems are built to give jobs to people with inferiority complexes. Gives the teachers only places in the world they will find authority over little people who can't push back. I want to say that's like, maybe, but not all situations. Because I've met some good people that generally want to teach, and I would
Yeah,
teach
there's
if our schooling system was set up different. I don't like the whole thing where it's like one teacher with like 40 kids or 30 kids. How could you expect one person to reach that many minds, especially when you're talking about, doing, studying and looking over shoulders kind of thing.
Tylock says he's the only one that didn't go to college. I didn't graduate, and I wish they told me like in high school, like, oh, you don't need to go to college right away. You can go to a community college, get straight A's, and then a bunch of scholarship money for the school you want, right? Because that's how you prove yourself and get much more money from other schools. And like, I wish that was sort of more, promoted by guidance counselors instead of like just rushing kids into schools, paying exorbitant amounts of money when they don't even know who they are. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, the way the system was, it just really bothered me.
Donna Comics, that's a trivia question. Where do you think station comes from? Um, Comic book wearing man, I love to teach young people, but not good looking teachers that way. Now nowadays it's a different story because nowadays you got other things to worry about. We got school shootings going on. We got like, now we got phones. We got. I mean, it's not like I mean, I don't even know what it would be like teaching like a kid in the classroom nowadays with tablets and phones and like I mean, you know, I know when I was in school they used to trip out on calculators, right? We couldn't have calculators in class. Now, how does that work with phones and shit? I mean, now you got like Google, and I mean, you know what? When they go into class, they just got to turn in their phones. I mean,
Probably something like that if it's like a serious test.
mhm. um, now station is from yeah, it means be excellent, but it's specifically from Bill and Ted, and the second movie, Bogus Journey. Remember the guys was like station. Um, yeah, Bill and Ted reference. Huh? And that's what it means. Be well, be excellent, be kind to each other, and it also means hello and goodbye too. I think in the movie it was defined that it was a word that encompassed every single word in the human language, but it was expressed through feeling is what it meant. So you could say station, and it meant something derogatory, but it just meant on how you used it, kind of thing. Um, but in the movie they always use it for good things. Go ahead, Dan.
I keep forgetting what I was gonna say. I think I have ADD, man.
ADD, my brother does, man.
I think I do. I think I have it. I can't hold focus. Like that's why I usually write notes when I'm on shows. Like you don't see me, but I'm writing notes so I could stay on focus and then organize my thinking because I can't. It's just too fast.
I know that's my
Um,
thing. I can get off topic really easily depending on what pops up and this and that. What's up? What's up, cool
oh,
comics?
I remember. I was gonna say the Dalai Lama has been talking about they really need to have teach like compassion in schools, and if not compassion, philosophy, because you need to kind of underpin the whole fucking point. Like why? You know what I mean? Like kids don't know why. They're just told this do it, you know. And I think if kids had a better sense of why and what, and if you taught philosophy much younger, if that was a part of the school system, or teaching compassion, that would be that would change a lot, and I think that would prevent all these like school shootings, frankly, because they're not taught that shit at all. Like, kids are just like win, compete, be better than everyone. That's like all they're taught. Be separate from each other. So there's no fucking sense of community in a school. It's all based on who is the best, not just loving everyone or whatever.
I think it gets hard because honestly, that's why like my daughter, I want to have homeschool because um, I know down here it's kind of like one of those things. It's like the second you start putting security and stuff like that, it kind of invokes that kind of, it's like a pushback, especially with kids and um, trying to rebel and that kind of thing. I think it gets sketchy. It's kind of like Made in Korea. That's why, like the ending of Made in Korea, that's why it made so much sense and why it fit in.
Wait,
Because
issue 6?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You talking
Like,
about the end? I didn't read the last one. I have up to
oh, no,
5.
no, no. I'm just talking about like the school part reference, like how
Oh
she
yeah,
went
yeah,
to
yeah.
school and they, kind of like how they led her into using her as a weapon, kind of thing. I know Cole was asking. Those are the two minor keys that I got. Was this? It was the key where Wolverine gets his medal pulled out, and you can see right here by Magneto. And the other, this is kind of like, I wouldn't really say it's a key, but it's just a comic that I wanted. But I mean, it was a lot, but this was the whole lot. It was like three. It was a Wolverine, a Spider-Man 2009, and the whole set of Identity Crisis was the three lots. And I
The,
showed it off in the beginning. Go ahead.
no, no. I was gonna say, is that Fatal Attraction one? Is that the one with the secret blue hologram variant? Like, cause one of those has like a rare blue variant.
I think I do remember one having a blue, and I do remember having because this one's green. Like, and I
Yeah,
do remember some of them having like different colors, but I don't remember because I do remember there's like five in this set. It's like Avenger, like what's like Excalibur. It's all the X-Men titles. It's like Excalibur. It's Uncanny. But I think this was like the major one in the series. But for me, I know it's the minor key, but for me, it's a nostalgic buy. This was something that, I mean, back when I was collecting comics, this was something that was like big, the storyline and everything.
I mean that issue ends like Empire Strike Backs ends. You know, like things just go horribly wrong, and then people switch side. I mean, and then call out spoilers for what issue is that? Wolverine 75 or
Yeah, 75.
yeah. So
Spoilers. You can spoil
spoilers.
that.
Colossus like quits the X-Men, joins Magneto, but Magneto rips out the adamantium out of Wolverine, and then Professor X makes him basically brain dead by wiping out Magneto's consciousness to punish him for like nearly murdering Wolverine, and it was so
Yeah,
brutal. And then Magneto disappeared until the Onslaught event,
yeah. And that's when
basically. Yeah,
he does show up in the Age of Apocalypse thing, like, and he's the one that takes over like the X. But I mean, up until that point, he disappeared after that, like, because everybody wanted to mess.
yeah, and that's the root of Onslaught. It's like holding that like that, you know. I don't know, cause
That's what started Onslaught too, right? Was the rage and everything.
I think when you try to hide the, I don't know. Yeah. No, it just reminds me of No Way Home. Wait, I'm not gonna talk about No Way Home because
Hey, you can't
some
talk
people
about that.
maybe didn't see
I
it
haven't.
yet.
I haven't
Oh,
seen
you
it.
didn't see it. Oh,
Nope.
cool. Are you
I won't get.
planning on seeing it?
Nope, not for a little while. I want to. My thing is money wise. I just don't
Oh,
have the
okay.
extra. No, but mine it'll be like a week, or maybe they'll see it this coming up week or something when I get paid. But
Do you have like a second run theater that's cheaper or something? Is that something like that
yeah, we
in
do
your
have
town?
dollar cinemas, but it'll be a while for it gets a dollar cinema. I'm pretty sure by like it'll be released digitally before.
Dollar
But
cinema? You have a dollar
even
cinema?
yeah, we have dollar cinemas. We have
Holy
we
smokes.
have, we have a bunch of dollar cinemas here in Houston. Um, I want to say we have more dollar cinemas than we actually do big cinemas.
Wow.
Because we have big cinemas. We have like, I mean, we have, I want to say like, because that's one of our, like in Houston, that's one of our like declining factors is we don't really have a theme park or anything, we have like, yeah, we have like, other types of attractions like stadiums and stuff like that, like music, live music, that kind of stuff. But as far as like theme parks and stuff like that, we don't. But theaters, we have some really nice ones. I mean, like our IMAX theaters and stuff like people talk about those. So we have a full fledged restaurant where it's like it's a full fledged restaurant floor, and there's a big screen like like on the wall beside you. It's a real dinner and a movie with waiters. It's so
Yeah.
badass. They do it all
Yeah.
quiet.
Yeah. New York is like losing a lot of theaters, so it's yeah. Movie prices in New York are crazy. Yeah, he applied for a loan. Yeah, I refinanced my home to bring like a couple people to watch on the way home. Sperm whale. Don't want to scare you, but there's what?
Someone in his house.
Oh
That was
shit! Is
you.
that the ghost of? I
He
heard.
was talking about.
You know, my parents told me about a ghost in this house. No, there was. I've heard of this ghost. It only appears on the camera, but like if I turn around, there's nothing there. It only appears when I'm doing streams. It was like a YouTuber that did really well and disappeared and then died. So she appears sometimes during my streams, and I heard she like lives in this town. It's a YouTube ghost.
It should be like there should be ghosts in every house in New York. It's like one of the oldest cities in America. You know how many people have died, been shot, and all kind of stuff, right? So I mean, there should be like a ghost in every house. I mean, guaranteed. Every time you know,
I
they, they,
legit, so, yeah, I sort of believe in ghosts, and I'm like not afraid no ghosts.
it's technically got to be like where you sign a lease in New York, and it's got to be like two things you get with the apartment. Like you know how you get like the refrigerator, and you get like you get certain amenities with the
Microwave,
apartment.
yeah, fridge.
Like y'all like one rat and like one ghost, that comes with because there's like the rat thing in New York, and then there's the no, I'm just joking though, but no,
No,
when
I
I
mean
was there,
there's mice in the buildings some a lot of times and cockroaches, and you gotta just seal up all the cracks, and
y'all are down in the subways. Is that even accurate? I know that's like a known thing. Is the pigeons and the rats in New York? I saw pigeons, but I don't remember seeing any rats when I was in New York.
oh, the subway system has a lot of rats.
I never read the subway.
Oh, not only that, just walking down the street on garbage night, there's just rats inside the piles of garbage. There's like every pile of garbage has like 4 or 5 rats in it. Like one time, me and my friend, we walked around the corner and like 50 rats just ran out in all directions. And my friend was like, "Oh my God, did you see that?" And I was like, "Dude, the rat ran between my feet, man. Like I felt it was so big, I could feel it between both feet." And he was like, "What?" And he just started laughing. He's like, "Ah."
At least they
I mean,
didn't try and
I remember
pants,
walking
man.
down like these brownstones, right? And I'm just walking, and then we hear this massive fart, and it's just like a crazy guy just taking a shit right there. And we're like, holy smokes.
What?
Yeah, New York
He said
is.
off subject, but In and Out has the best hot cocoa. I did not know In and Out had hot cocoa. So that's good shit. Pizza rat. Yeah, I know y'all got pizza rats, right? I've seen that. Like they have like the memes on YouTube. And like bro, if comic book one didn't say it right there. If you got a rat and a ghost in your apartment,
Oh, yeah,
you better be
sublet.
sublet, hell yeah. No, I've like I can say I've lived like I think I've kind of told, but I've lived in a couple apartments that I feel were haunted and stuff like that. Like currently this apartment, no. Maybe with the whole raccoon thing at one time, I was like, yeah, I thought it was, but then it turns out it was just raccoons. But no, I've lived in places that was like haunted, like
I think ghosts are sort of kind of traumatized spirits, and they're dealing with trauma. And like, if you're scared of them and you fear them, you feed into this feedback loop of fear and trauma. And if you like literally don't fear them and like see them with more compassion and even love, they can have no effect on you, and they actually start to like dissipate their existence. That's what I'm claiming. I'm claiming this.
I could go with that because, like, I mean, that could be a lot. Well, no, well, I don't know, because like the Hollywood way, that wouldn't work because every Hollywood time they show it's like an innocent family that enters a house, and it's like, no, but like I could go with that. Like it depend, like depending on what's in your heart, and like say you do have an entity living in your heart, if you're just a malice person, like I mean, of
Yeah,
course, it's
that's what
like
it can latch
everlasting.
onto. Like you need fear and hate and stuff like you need sort of like that darkness to be kind of you know um,
I mean, even in those houses that I say were haunted and stuff, I was never scared or anything, and I mean, I never had anything mess with me. Just it was weird stuff, like people. It sounded like people were walking on my roof when there was no way anybody could be walking on my roof, or like, and it would be like during a rainy day or something like that. I'd be like, how the fuck? And, I mean, it had to be Spider-Man that was on my roof because my roof was like bad, so no one was walking on it. But
I mean, remember they did that in Ted Lasso too. They recognized the trauma of the ghosts, and they like honored their trauma, and then the haunting ended. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like that's how it works. That's actually how it works with ghosts, because they're
isn't it?
confused.
They're confused. They're just in the wrong
Yeah,
places all the time. You
they're
got. I mean,
stuck in a trauma loop, so they're like,
isn't that everything? Isn't that like understanding compassion? Isn't that like, doesn't that like in every story or whatever, doesn't that free the day? Like the day the earth stood still, that could have been a react, like it goes either way. It could have been like, but no, it was our scaredness or whatever that ends up shooting at them or ends up, but isn't that like everything we encounter first, where our first reaction is kill it or beat it? Or, it's like it can't be like, hey, let's talk to it. Hey, let's find out what it's about. Like,
but I mean, but it's funny. Like, isn't that how we actually deal with each other too? Like when things get crazy, we try to figure it. We don't necessarily like, I'm gonna kill you. That's not how we start. We kind of like, why are you so upset? I'm confused. Like what? That's how we do things. Are you muted right now? No.
no, no,
Oh, okay.
no, no, no. He was saying, I wasn't trying to interrupt you, but I was like commenting on what he said. He said, I bet spirits fart too. And I was like, they do.
Yeah. It's like,
And right. Glenn farts are the ghost of meals past, right?
oh yeah. There is an episode of Ren and Stimpy where it's a Christmas episode where Stimpy has a fart and Ren doesn't like it there, and then they have to reject the fart, and the fart is going around like a ghost, really sad, and Stimpy has to reunite with his fart because he loves his fart. It's a Christmas
Oh,
This is real. This is like,
yeah, I believe you. I don't remember that. I remember the boogie collection. Like he had his like booger collection, and it was like under his bed. And they were like, when you looked at his boogers and they showed it all up close, they were like living and they were like growing and moving around. And because he had them forever under his bed, so they were really moving and growing. And
no, they were nose goblins.
oh yeah, the nose goblins. Yeah, yeah,
Nose
yeah.
goblins.
His booger collection.
But there was a really wonderful Christmas episode where he has to find his fart, and his fart is like going on this adventure, trying to figure out who it is and stuff, and
Turkey.
Gasbusters.
What are you talking about, man? You ever been elephants? Elephants got the worst, man. I mean, I've like rhinos, lion, no, elephants, bro. Elephants. They win it.
I was at a horse ranch, and there was like a horse running around in a circle, farting and shitting and kicking its legs up in the air as I was running in a circle, farting and shitting. I was like 12, could not stop laughing. We laughed for like, I don't know, 30 minutes straight. We couldn't stop laughing. Almost puked. It was awesome.
Just run around shitting and farting.
Shitting and fart. It was just like running and kicking up its ass as shit was flying out of it, and get like farts and shit, and we were just like, what is happening? What is this for us? Because we're 12, so like this is what we want, Is this horse here to entertain us? Because that's about the most goddamn entertaining thing a horse could do for 12-year-olds.
Yeah, I could see
And if
that.
anyone
Yeah,
knows horses, can you confirm horses do this sometimes? Because I
bro,
just
you
couldn't
want you
believe
want to
it.
stay what's weird, but when you're watching the parade, right, and they got the horses, and then they got like, you know, the horses had a little
Stinky.
bag. They have the fart was called Stinky. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, he goes, "Oh, Stinky, I miss you, Stinky." I can't do his voice very well, but same voice as the guy in Futurama, Billy
It's
West.
he has that like I know like Ren had that like Stimpy, like he had that like, you know, he had that over exaggerated like you idiot, you know, but Ren, like, or was it Stimpy? Damn, I'm getting them confused. Stimpy was the little one, right?
Stimpy was
And
the
Ren,
friendly cat, the loving, stupid cat, and Ren
oh,
is
okay.
the angry Chihuahua with like anger problems and rage problems, and it was just like funny to watch him get so angry. And then like the joke was like, how angry can he get? And then the executives tried to make him stop like smacking Stimpy so much because everyone likes Stimpy. Um, oh man, there's an excellent episode where Ren has to be the president of Stimpy's like fan club because everyone loves Stimpy and no one likes Ren. And then the ending is like this twist ending. It's so good. I don't want to ruin it. It's so good. It's like 10 minutes. It's got a great twist ending. It's so funny.
He said Ren is a cat. I think he
Ren
is.
Ren is a Chihuahua. Ren is a Chihuahua. Stimpy's the cat.
Yeah, or damn,
No,
it's been too
Ren
long.
was the
Now I'm getting confused,
beige
man.
Chihuahua. Stimpy the cat.
Yeah, it sounds right. I don't remember. It's been too
I
long.
mean, you guys, we got the internet, so we can like
You can look
confirm
it up,
this. We can
right?
look it
Yeah,
up.
I can.
Um,
Not on my phone. Not while
no,
I'm
no, no.
live streaming.
I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
No, I think it sounds right because I
I just
remember
love
him
that
saying
show.
like,
He
I'm
goes,
thinking more about
Stimpy, you idiot.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, Ren, I'm sorry, Ren.
Ren and Stimpy was an amazing cartoon. More gonna yeah. I mean, they had a lot. They were like too, you know, they were modeled for kids, but they were more like grown up humor, or I want to say teenager humor. I want to say there was some of those. It wasn't necessarily kids or grown ups. I think it just worked well for teenagers, because like you have to think like Batman the animated series. It wasn't really modeled for kids, and it wasn't really modeled for adults. I think they were going for that demographic of teenagers, you know, like that in between.
They're also like Canadian, actually. So in the American release, they kind of removed stuff about referring, like explicitly mentioning that they're Canadian. So there's an episode called Man's Best Friend, and it's been censored, like cut up like crazy. And it's about a guy that owns them, and he's like nuts and he's angry, and but he's supposed to be American. Like the joke is he's supposed to be a stereotype of what an American is, and he's just so upset and obsessed with like winning and stuff. So, but they cut out all the bits that say that for the American release.
And that was in Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah,
I think I
because
saw
they're
that.
Canadian. That's why there's always that like they're Mounties and there's always like yaks
Yeah,
and there's all this Canadian stuff in it.
I remember the cow with the udder. I don't remember why, but it was like a superhero.
Powder Toast Man.
I remember Powder Toast Man, but didn't he have like a cow, like superhero or something like that? And they had like a udder that just stuck
There was a
out.
horse with nipples, horse with rubber nipples, Mr. Horse, and
I
he'd be
don't
like,
remember.
"No, sir, I don't like it."
Mm.
That's his catchphrase.
Neighbor to the north said we don't have yaks. Yeah, it's like I think Russia. Yeah, they did in Ren and Stimpy though. Like, yeah, because he is right. I do remember in Ren and Stimpy being Canadian because they did have the Mounties and they did have like, but I don't remember them having Canadian accents or anything.
But Canadians don't. I mean, but Canadians sound like all kinds of things. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot of Canadians with really French accents, and
yeah, because none of y'all Canadians, damn it, none of y'all do the A. I've been waiting for one of y'all to come on there and be like, "Hey, yeah, I'm going to the store, eh?" Yeah.
I
Like
mean,
the
I met
farther.
this. I met an Indian woman that wrote a memoir about Kundalini yoga, and I would, talk to her, and I'm like reading her memoir. I'm asking her questions, and she has this like accent, and I'm like, wow, what is that accent? I'm like, is that from India? What is that accent? I've never heard that accent before. And then she mentions she's from Canada. Grew up in Canada. I'm like, oh, it's a Canadian accent. Oh, it's not that exotic, but because she's Indian, and I was like, I just like couldn't place what I was like, what the fuck accent? I just couldn't figure it out. But if she wasn't Indian, I think I would have figured out it was Canadian like right away. It's just I didn't process that she was Canadian.
What the
Yeah.
A?
Oh
The
yeah, a lot of
A's?
people in the North Midwest, they have a very similar accent too.
I met a girl. I met a girl, and she was from like Minnesota, and she spoke with the A, and I was like, wasn't that a Canadian thing? And like, but y'all don't. I know. Neighbor to the north, you do it every now and then, but you don't do it so heavy. Is that just like a? Is it just that region that? Oh, damn! I lost my
Oh
phone.
shit, you got Blair Witched.
Yeah, it was the raccoons.
It's the ghost.
No, but
Yeah, the
it's
raccoon ghost.
right. Man, back in business. No, but was that a specific region just to that North Dakota and the Minnesota accent? I don't know. I've heard it. Oh,
Yeah, Fargo. You ever watch Fargo?
yeah, they use it. Oh yeah, I got Harley Quinn over there somewhere. Um, I can leave it like that for now. Yeah, Fargo
Yes.
was like every other like sentence is that was the A. Um, what do you call it? I was saying something before that. Where I grew up close to New York State, but on the East Coast.
Yeah, I'm an East Coaster too.
Well, that's like Travis. Travis doesn't really have like a thick, heavy accent,
Oh right. Yeah. Hey, Sheena.
Like neighbor, you have a little bit of an accent, but I wouldn't say it's heavy. Like it's not hard to understand at all. But I'm trying to think, because we do have a lot of Canadian people in our community, like
Oh yeah.
GP. Oh no, GP has an accent, but honestly, GP's is almost like a mix of like it's like Irish or Scottish or something mixed with the Canadian, but I'm not sure. I'm guessing. That's what it
And
sounds like to me.
comic vet, right? He's Canadian.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
and I hear Travis is. I mean, he's friendly like a Canadian. That's for sure. If, of all the stereotypes, he's friendly as hell.
yeah, Travis is really friendly.
Yeah.
Um, Everybody's really friendly though. Like Sheena, man. Sheena, the way Sheena loves on the community. I love that. Like, and it's like that's another thing is I love being a part of this community, and I love seeing that from us kind of thing. Like people in this community, the one
And a
um,
little
it's,
shout out to their show, a little plug for Queens and Comics, right? Is that what it's called? Queens and Comics? Comics and Queens? Or, I'm sorry,
I think
what is it exactly?
I don't know
On
called it.
J Rails
Yeah, J
2247.
247s. Like, but I think they were calling it the film something.
Oh, they changed the name.
No, I think they were calling it I think they were like during the chat, during that live stream, they were calling it like the Queens of Comics. Like somebody was saying, y'all should call it the Queen of Comics. And I agree, that's a great name. But I think that show they were calling it something else. I think it was like the Fantastic or like the Fantastic Group or something like that. I don't remember what they were calling it. But for those of y'all that don't know, that's Sheena. That's in the chat right here. That's this girl right there. And then it was Inja Benja. It was Michelle that is Moonlit Comics. It
Hmm.
was Nicole Hodnett. It was
Yeah.
and J Rails 247, and it also had Prime in the background, and he was kind of like moderating the show for them.
And it's
Um,
on J Rails channel.
mhm.
So to catch it, you have to go to J Rails channel, J Rails 247.
Hmm. And that
And
was, and I think it's on Tuesdays, if
I'm
I'm not
going over
mistaken.
Saga. Yeah.
And they did the first 9 chapters. They reviewed and they kind of did a roundhouse thing. I like that they went around, they went around and they kind of gave their thoughts about each chapter. But as I'm not, I don't want to say nothing that's wrong, but it'll probably be the next 9 chapters will be this coming Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Or I don't know, they might not do. I don't know. We'll keep you posted, kind of thing. I don't want to state something that isn't there.
Oh, okay.
It's
Queens
Queen,
on Comics.
but we branched out and calling it the Girl Squad. Okay, Girl
Oh,
Squad
the
edition.
Gal Squad edition.
Gal Squad.
Squad
I'm good with
edition.
that too.
The Gal Squad edition.
Classic Canadian beefing.
Q
I'm sorry,
and
beef. It's in the
but
chat right now.
edition. All right. Yeah, but yeah, it's good. We need more. We need more like shows with women. I mean, in general. I mean, it's like
Beachcombers. This sounds familiar. Beachcombers. I don't know. It said that sounds familiar. He said sounds like a movie. That's the first thing that popped up for me.
English channels. Do we check out any English channels? English
Yeah,
like comic. Yeah, there's a.
I watched. Well, of course, Don. I watched y'all's that quiz show, and I love that. But that was a first for me. But that I do plan to come back and watch that quiz show. I love trivia and quiz and that kind of stuff. But for me, my buddy in the chat right here, Glenn. But I mean, he didn't have a show. But okay, so like, I like Daz Comics Collector. I think his name is Dazzy. I like Daz.
Oh,
Mm, I like
right, Daz. Yeah.
I'm trying to think because
There's a
Daz
guy
is
that
actually
has a comic shop, and he goes over the books of the week, and he's got like a mustache, like a kind of like like a stylish mustache and glasses, and I forgot what it's called. I forgot what the channel's called. I'm subscribed to him, and I see he does reviews. He does early
like,
reviews of books because he also owns a shop. But he's British. I don't remember his name.
oh, Gray Man. That's what I'm thinking of. But Gray Man,
Oh,
I
you're
can't
thinking
believe
of Gray Man, yeah, but yeah, there's Gray Man as well, who's been around for a while. And
most of us in this and like specifically here, Don, we do watch the Gray Man. We do go like I know me and a couple of them because I'm like it's kind of like I want to say it's like no, I don't want to say that, but we do watch like the Gray Man and Matilda. I know I do.
Matilda is
But
in Israel.
uh-huh.
Yeah,
Mm. Who are you
I
thinking about? The glasses with the
yeah, I don't remember his name. It's like comic something but yeah, I think we generally trust people with British accents a little more. We think their opinions have more authority. I
well, okay,
think
like I mean, like we just watch people all around the world because, like, okay, Kate Titus, he's in Japan, but I don't really watch Kate Titus. Like, I don't really watch the shout outs, but I mean, he is there. I watch him every now and then. It depends on what he puts on there. Like, if he puts on a video talking about something or something like that, I'll watch. But okay, so like
got
I'm
Aussies, a lot of Aussies.
Aussies like Mad Spidey and Simple Simon and Whack Comics and they're all and I'm a half Australian and German, so but okay, like who else? I want to say that the only, and it has nothing to do with like I don't subscribe to any, but I want to say like African would be the only, like specifically the country of Africa. I don't know if any comic, that are streaming from Africa.
Africa.
Yeah, because I do have some Middle Eastern, I do have Canadian, I do have some like the Philippines. Manny's in the Philippines. I have like some Southern, like in the like some Spanish channels and stuff like that I follow. That's where it gets kind of different because it's like language barrier kind of thing. Panels and Pints is awesome. I don't know that one. Um, and that's the thing. It's all about like, word of mouth kind of thing. Because I know overseas, like it's usually on who interacts with us, Don. Like,
Oh, South
because
African Spawn One. That's a very rare book.
I haven't seen
That's
that,
my
man. You
South
got.
African accent.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm not. I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to make fun of
That's a
one. So
rare book. Surprised you have it.
I don't want to. Yeah, Glenn. Okay, yeah. That's one I do know because I think I knew of that Team Nerd Herd before I knew about our Team Nerd Herd because we have the American Team Nerd Herd with Steve and Alonzo and all them, but there is an English Team Nerd Herd of the same name. I was watching them first, like before our Team Nerd, before I ran into Steve and Alonzo and all them. Yeah, thanks Glenn for that. Yeah, but there's a like I don't have any discrimination as far as like where they're from, as far as long as they're like interesting and that kind of thing. Perpetual Comics, I do. Attention Seeking Link, I love Ben, man, and that sucks that he's taking the break because I love Attention Seeking Geek. I know a lot of us on this side of the pond we watched Ben. Um,
Oh, I'm gonna subscribe to Perpetual Comics.
yeah,
And
Perpetual. Um,
at least
sometimes I
three
forget.
videos.
What is it? Donna Comics is Team Nerder. That's their show, Glenn. Then I do know Sean.
Oh,
Then I do know Sean. If Sean runs Team Nerd Herd on the English side, then I do know Sean. I just didn't recognize him in his elf get up. But that means I have watched him before because I have watched because I used to watch them before I even started YouTube. I was watching and he could probably go back and like his chats and he won't find Evil Mike, but he can find me by my real name, Michael Moore, and it'll be there because I used to chat on his videos. Um He's a part of
I
the herd. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't. It's hard for me. It's hard. I mean, that's not everybody, but it's hard to recognize people when they're in outfits. I know most people hopefully can tell that's Dane Comics. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, not a lot of us Asian folks. I mean, there is a good number of Asian folks, but we're very different from each other, so I guess it's easier to tell us apart. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
that's one.
attention seeking geek. I didn't know he had a YouTube actually. I have been following him on Instagram,
Yeah,
so
like
just I just subscribed.
I read we know Ben because he's been on Spine Ticks a lot, and he's actually been on the show while like I was on the show because he was on Spine Ticks like a while before I hopped on the show, and then there was a couple like where he'd make guest appearances, so I kind of actually got to hang out with him like a couple different times. And man, I fell in love with him after I found out he was doing those like, defend these type of movies, these hated movies that people hate. If you like these movies, defend them, and stuff like that. And there's a bunch of movies that
Mm,
I like that people hate, and yeah, but I can, like he was talking about, thanks for coming to the camp. Man, I kind of hop around and support different people. I don't try to stick to I do support my group wholeheartedly. I mean, I'm a part of a group. So I mean they kind of come first, but it's not, first above all, but it's kind of like I support them first. And then like when I do have the free time, I kind of move around to new channels and stuff like that. For one, it's just a good tip to get your name out there, move around and interact with different people. But I
that's
mean
true.
it has nothing to do with getting my name out there. My name's out there. I'm all over the place. But like it's really about just meeting different people, Like I mean, I'm in it for the community, you know. Mhm. No, I mean that's a good tip for any YouTuber out there. Grow your channel. You're not going to grow sitting on one side of a table. You kind of have to, you know.
I mean, it's nice too because then that the community is so supportive of each other. So then you're not alone. So you can do it alone and try to game the algorithm and do it that way, and that could work too. But it's a very lonely road to need to be at the top like that. Whereas like if you tap into the community, it's more organic and then you can play and not just like be consumed with getting the most views and because it's not the way to go. Not to, I mean, according to all the research I've done about like successful YouTubers, it's not about like. I mean, you can, of course, you can do that, but it's not as sustainable as like doing something more organic and just enjoying it. Because if it's not fun,
I
oh my
found, and
gosh.
I know what.
Well, no, I'm just
What-
saying, like if it's not fun and
Oh,
you but you're getting a lot of views and stuff, it's just to me that's hell. Like if you're getting tons of views and you got tons of subscribers, but you actually don't enjoy doing it, to me you're fucked. I'd rather,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, I mean, it kind of depends on because I don't think there's one reason why you could be on YouTube. You know, there could be many reasons. So I think it just depends on your reasons, and if the end results meet what your reasons were, then it works out. You know, like mine's kind of more laid back. So I like getting views. I like seeing that a video does well versus another, but they really help on making better content because that's what it's all about. I'm here to entertain or to be interesting or thought provoking, that kind of thing. But I'm not in it for the gimmick kind of thing. I don't want I'm just not in it for the gimmick thing. So I think it just depends on what on how how you start and how you grow and
yeah. Personally, I was doing stuff that like gets those views, whatever. I was making videos that were sort of to get the kind of the views, whatever. But I was like, I don't want to do that because I'm not in love with it. I'm like chasing something. I'm just gonna do what I love, and then, but it was really scary at first.
Well, okay, now let's do real chat. Like, and then you don't have to answer this, and I can understand why. But like you just said that you were doing things trying to chase views. Like, okay, so like, in my honest opinion, you don't need to do that. I will. I bet anybody watching this on the rewind or right now will agree with me that your personality and the way you talk and stuff like that, you don't need to do that. You bring in people by your personality and the interest and what you're talking about and this and that, your own style, this and that. So like when you were doing the chasing views, do your other videos get like less views than that and stuff like that, your regular videos? Because
Well, it's like really early in the beginning when I never got any views ever. So then I was like suddenly getting a lot of views. I was like, what? And then I was like, all right, well, and then I was like spec videos, basically spec videos. I did spec videos. I like, you know what? It's my own take on the spec video and my own personal stuff. And then I was just kind of like, damn, I don't necessarily want to feed like rampant consumerism. I don't
I
want
get
people
that.
to go broke watching my shit because they're like trying to chase after what I'm chasing or whatever. So, and those videos get more views, like people, because like about making money or whatever, like that kind of shit gets tons of views, and but I just dropped all of it because I'm like I don't want to be a part of that necessarily. I want to be about the love of it, where I don't need to chase anything to love something, right? And then the video that really scared me because I was like getting like heat in the beginning. I was like, wow, I'm getting heat for the first time, and but then I had to talk about the Aaron Fisher situation. I felt like I needed to make a statement on it because like there was people that were so angry that this gay character was existing. Aaron
Mm,
Fisher, like the train yard Captain
yeah,
America or whatever.
yeah.
So I did a pushback on the hate because I wasn't hearing anyone defend it, and
Why you stopped?
what?
Is that why you stopped because of that video? Because that was
No, no,
around
no.
the time.
That's when I started to do whatever I wanted. Cause
Mm,
I thought that video might get like a lot of hate and people would just hate me, and I was like, oh man, but I have to stand up for like I have to stand up about this because it's like just all I'm hearing is hate. I'm not hearing anyone push back. I was like, I have to. I have too many gay friends. I can't just let it, do nothing. So I did that, and I was
yeah.
like, oh man, they're gonna hate me for it. But a lot of people were actually really grateful I did that video. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want.
No, I mean, like I was always curious, I mean, because like I'll admit that those were some of my favorite videos that you did was your, and I've told you that before, was your spec videos. But It was the way you did your spec, and it wasn't like honestly, it was just it's some of the smartest spec to this day I've seen. Now,
Well,
I
now
like
it's taken off. Some of those specs are taken off right now. Like,
okay, well, like, and I can validate because maybe like now for those who don't know me and for those of you who do, I'm not a big spec person. I'm not driven that way, and I am a reader of comics. I have high dollar stuff on my PC, and I know that they're high dollar, but they still sit in my PC kind of thing. It's just nice to know that they're worth that much money, kind of thing. But I'm not in the cellar. That's not to say I never will, but okay, so I'm not really in the spec, but what I can say about that guy's spec was it was just a different type of spec. It was like, hey, pick up this first character, this appearance of a first this I can't even talk. Pick up this first appearance of a character because is the first, Korean superhero that they've ever done. It's the first time that Disney, I mean, to me that was like the smartest spec I've ever heard
or White
because
Fox, like, yeah, White Fox, the
yeah,
White Fox spec, because it was like dirt cheap. No, everyone's sleeping on it, and I was like pretty sure it looks like they're doing a MCU is going to do a big push in Korea and bring in Korean people, and she's sort of being used to be like the leader of the Korean team. Actually, she's like Nick Fury and a superhero at the same time. She's like Black Widow and Nick Fury put together, and I'm like, this
yeah.
is you guys. This is dollar bin. This is a dollar bin book, and it's gonna jump. And it recently jumped, and there was like a variant cover, the 1 in 25 I bought a long time ago for $10, and if it's slabbed, it's over $1,000 right now. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And when I saw in the top 10 recently, I was like, finally, but people weren't understanding. They're like, I don't understand this spec. I heard like other speckers are like, I don't know why this is heating up, and I'm like, it's because she's coming. She's gonna come.
No, I mean, it was smart and validated, and it wasn't just like, hey, I think this character has come. No, I mean, it was so like your thinking and your thought process behind it, and the evidently that it was going to come. I mean, it was obvious, and I was like, yeah, I'll go. Because I bought the Taiko. How you say his name? Taikogi, Taikogi. I'd have to see it because it's
Oh,
pronounced. Yes.
Teguki. Yeah, that will also, I think, it's gonna go crazy, and I think potentially the Monkey Prince character from DC is going to pop. And there's like a 1 in 50 variant, which you can get for like 30, $40, and it came out at $50 retail. It's like it's undervalued. The series, Monkey Prince series is coming out from DC. I have a
Yeah.
feeling Monkey Prince will show up in a Shazam film because they're making him like Shazam, like it's like a high school kid, and he knows Billy Batson, and the Monkey Prince, Monkey King is I don't know if they pull that off in DC, it's gonna be huge.
It's
Asian,
a
also black characters,
yeah.
um,
Indian, like bro,
minorities. Yeah,
like finding out in Spider-Man 2000, well, Into the Spider-Verse Part 2 that we're gonna finally get to see Spider-Man India. I'm so hyped because you talk about a character that gets no love. Like that's like Spider-Man 2099. I mean, in the comic world he does, but not outside the comic world. Most people don't even know about these characters. That's kind of my point. It's like there's so many. The world is versatile. Like let's. I like that when they open that up.
I sort of agree, right? And that's why like about this comment is that, but that's why like I really cut my pull list like crazy because I realized like I don't love most of these comics. It's like everyone's buying almost everything off the stands every week. And I think it's part of it is to have a shared cultural experience where like every Wednesday simultaneously everyone in the community is getting these books and we can read them and have a shared experience, which is rare these days because media is so fragmented, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's like sort of what's the biggest pull of why you would get so much shit on your pull because you know it's not all great. It's not all great. It's just it,
I mean
So,
that, but that's the thing. Like, that there's another little tip is like, I mean, you don't have to be buying current comics to like be a part of this community. As long as you have some love for any of these nerd style things, you're gonna be welcomed into this community. And even if you don't like the nerd stuff and you just want to chat and like, and you're in good, good heart kind of thing. I mean, because I'm pretty sure there's all kind of people that come into these chats and they don't comment and stuff like that, but we don't know. They might not have passions for this stuff. They might just like listening to the conversation or that kind of stuff. Because I know my boy watches you and D-Boy 504, and if he's out there watching, but D-Boy 504 TV,
yo,
he watches
what up?
Dang. He watches every one of Dang's videos, and like he doesn't buy comics, he doesn't read comics, he's not into comics, but he loves the fuck out of Dang. Like he watches every Dang video. He gets mad at me when he doesn't see me comment on Dang's video. He's like, "Boy, you're not watching Dang no more." I'm like, "Yeah, I still watch Dang."
Don't worry about it. I mean, I took a little break for like over a month or something, I think, and a lot of people reached out to see if I was okay, and I was like, oh man, I'm totally okay. But I was very moved by that. That was very moving. Um, I was just on a wisdom quest, and I just like wasn't like filming stuff while I was driving across the country and kind of doing like a wisdom quest, which is a privilege that I can do that because my wife makes most of the money, so I can like be like, all right, I'm going on a wisdom quest. Um,
Me, I've been trying to stick to like, because I don't know how every other YouTuber does it, and it's hard, especially in the comic book community. Before I go too far into it, but like right here, you said I cut my pull list by 70% now, going back to the 90s and 2000s. I think there's a lot of people that are doing that now. Um, I still read current comics. I'm behind, but I mean, I just didn't. But like honestly, it's like I'm going back with what Dank said. Like I have a lot of stuff in my collection I love that I bought from my PC, but then I have like all these indie reads like that. It's not like I'm dumb. Like I was picking up like every number one out there. Nope. If you watch my channel, I'm very selective in what I was picking up. Almost everything that I picked up has been popping off. Like I have like Stray Dogs. I have like what's the one that just got everyone's hyped over? It's I'm drawing blanks. I hate names. It's the Janis Joplin book.
yeah, this job.
Janis Joplin book. It's Boom Studios. Um,
Proctor Valley Road.
yes, Proctor Valley Road.
Oh, okay.
Janis Joplin. It's about them going to a Janis Joplin concert. The
Oh,
whole
right. I
thing.
forgot. I just remember it's just murderous ghosts.
Murderous Ghost. Yeah, but I got all that.
But it's a option, that one. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I have grown fungus myself. I'm actually currently growing some stuff. Not really, but like I have to leave to LA and I can't do the whole grow, so I'm gonna give it to someone else to finish. But I will say about the wisdom quest I went on, the biggest takeaway from this wisdom quest recently was learning that we need to have a sacred space for sucking. So like, when you're like realizing you need to improve yourself or whatever, like you need to like people have to go through sucking, trying to do that and failing and honoring that and keeping that space for sucking sacred, even in art making too. Like realize like everything starts with shit that becomes beautiful. But it always starts as shit. It's and that's sacred. The shit, the suck. So we need to make a sacred space. So like, and also like, or if you're trying to give someone advice and it's so obvious and it's clear to them, it's clear to you, and then they don't do it, they end up like hating themselves for it. So like, but you have to express that you love them whether they do it or they don't do it. Like they're loved either way, so that the pressure's off. So it's more of like a free choice rather than this pressure situation. Because just keep that space sacred to suck. And I was like kind of going over this with other healers and teachers because I noticed like they're sort of like sometimes a little too aggressive, and I was like, I think it could be sometimes counterproductive to be so right sometimes and like let people suck. Or if like you're in your 20, I met a bunch of 28-year-olds talking about they lost all their friends and they realized all their friends sucked, and I was like, I told each of them, I'm talking to like 3 other 28-year-olds that they're telling me the exact same story. being in your 20s is your human right to be dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
And then, but when you hit 30, it's not cute anymore. You gotta kind of knock it off. But if you're in your 20s and you're fucking stupid, that's how you learn. You gotta be fucking stupid.
I mean, I think it's weird that most of us, like they try and force us to figure out what we're supposed to do by the time we're like 20 or 30 or something like that. Um, I think still in our 40s and 50s and 60s, we're still learning, kind of thing. And we're still learning ourselves. And I think it's weird that we try and jam pack that in the beginning of our lives, like to be set focused on one thing kind of thing. If you're into fungi, check out Paul Stamets.
Yeah, Paul Stamets is like the world expert on mushrooms, and he also is not necessarily an academic, but his knowledge of mycelium and mycology is on the highest level, and and he's made a lot of discoveries and stuff by being like a hardcore hobbyist, just a person that's completely like an autodidact, like studies himself, learns himself, so into the hobby that he's the master, not necessarily a biologist, because I believe he does not have a degree or anything, but he's extremely knowledgeable, and he's learned a lot about how mushrooms can help rehabilitate brain damage and kind of slow down Parkinson's, reverse some symptoms of like Alzheimer's potentially, and also enhance the use of a lot of cancer drugs, and how to use mycelium to turn oil waste into, like, convert it into nature again, stuff like that. Yeah, and then he's the one that kind of promoted this concept, I think, of how underground there's all these mycelial networks of fungus everywhere, and they connect to all the trees, and trees actually communicate with each other through the mycelial network somehow. And trees will be like, or if there's like a forest fire here, it'll warn the other trees like, yo, there's a forest fire coming. And then the other trees, they start to react a certain way, and they think it's like a internet. Mushrooms are the internet of nature, kind of.
Is he the same one that's monitoring the fungus that's like under like California all the way to like the mega
Maybe.
fungus down?
Yeah, he has like a funny hat and a bushy white beard. He used to have a stutter, okay? Horrible stutter with social anxiety, and then he took a bunch of mushrooms and he climbed up a tree, and it was like lightning rain. He thought he was going to die, and he came down, his stutter was gone. And he realized like the miraculous nature of mushrooms. Yeah, and I think because it lights up your entire neural network at once, so a lot of the parts in your brain, they're not that connected. And like especially the animalistic part of your brain and the rational part of your brain, they're really not very connected well. Psychedelics seem to light everything up and create new neural pathways, so that because a lot of our trauma and triggering, when we get triggered and it doesn't seem rational, is coming from that animalistic part of the mind, because that's the part that holds trauma, generally speaking. And with psychedelics, you're able to kind of connect to that trauma part of the mind with the rational part of the mind for the first time, really, in a really substantial way, which allows you to kind of unravel a lot of traumas on another level that cannot be done with talk therapy. There's like a limit to talk therapy, because it's only speaking to the rational mind. So psychedelics kind of help you bridge the gap and realize like, know why it's there, and then the body relax, because it's like the body in fear that makes you trigger to say fucking dumb shit. But it's not rational, and you know it, and then you feel bad about it because you're like, shit, I shouldn't have got triggered, because it's your body that's not feeling safe, not necessarily your mind. And tapping into the body mind is important. And psychedelics seem to, because there's a guy, he wrote a book called The Body Keeps Their Score, and he studies how actually trauma is stored in the body part of the brain. And recently, this is like a couple years after that book came out, it was a huge bestseller. He's been talking about how he has been using psychedelics, and he's been tapping into these old traumas, and really like he's kind of stunned how effective psychedelics are at tapping into the trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was after the book came out, and I was like, wow, he just got onto this shit.
Yeah, it does. But for everybody, it's a little different. I know that. And a lot of people deal with trauma like that. Some people deal with trauma very simply, but then they deal with, it's the opposite. Either you deal with something major and easily, but then the easy things are hard to deal with. It's like most people I know that deal with trauma very well. They're not very like emotional people. They're not very empathetic, that kind of thing. And I think it's like versatile.
Yeah, yeah, but I think it's also like they have somehow figured out how to tell their body they're safe.
Hmm.
It's because people are really not in touch with their body. So like, I'll tend to know when things are wrong because my nervous system doesn't feel good. And I'm like, wait, something here doesn't feel good. Why is that? And I listen to that voice, kind of figure out what's going on. And if that voice is wrong, I'm like, hey, you know what? This voice is wrong. You need to chill. But people never listen to their bodies. They're just like, oh, I got heartburn because I ate all this shit. And I'm like, no, you have heartburn because you're stressed out. It has actually nothing to do with, like, a lot of people blame food for their health problems or like physical exterior things, but it's literally your fucking your mind that's causing the physical pain. Like, stress is making your insides kind of clench up like crazy, which is triggering the heartburn and the acid's coming back up and causing heart. It's not the food, actually, it's the stress, the constant stress, and normalizing stress as if that's the American way, is to be stressed out and just make more money. And it's like literally killing millions of Americans every year. Just, it's constant stress.
Yeah, no joke. Man, I need an answer to this. All right, Pan's Labyrinth is a whole movie about coping mechanisms. Bro, I've seen Pan's Labyrinth. What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
Well, I guess part of that movie is like the whole
I mean, I
fantasy
get,
world only
yeah.
occurs to her, the one girl. You know what I mean? It's like it.
See, I thought that the first time through, but
Well,
after
but she's the
multiple,
only one that's really witnesses the fantasy world. Like
I don't
everyone
think
else
that,
is not.
I
Huh?
don't think that matters.
That
They
matters.
I don't think it matters because, well, no, in the film, I think the film has taken that part, like, whether you believe she sees it or it really is fantasy. I don't think that matters because of that fact that she's the only one sees it. They never give an opportunity where like another actor in the movie see any of those characters. She's always alone when the fairy flies by her in the beginning in the car, or it's always something where she's so I think they took that out on purpose so you don't have to worry about that. You're just supposed to believe.
And I don't
Um,
think it's necessarily Nazis. I think it was the Spanish Civil War,
yeah.
and it was like a kind of more of a fascism thing. It's similar to Nazis, but I don't think it was
Yeah,
necessarily Nazis.
I'd say it was just like it. It was just a fascist group. It was like it was the new. It was I forget what he was. He was like a mayor slash general of that, but he was like he was the her new father-in-law, and
I would agree with this assessment, though, that it is about coping mechanisms,
and yeah,
and how children are so resilient and able to kind of create these worlds to kind of explain the horror of life sometimes, especially like
yeah.
if you're a child and you
It's,
can't control the horror of your life.
I mean, you either look at fairy tales like and real fairy tales like where they came from, like Aesop's,
I don't think it was.
No, well, I'm talking about like all those
Oh no,
fairy
no,
tales.
I'm sorry. I'm responding to a comment. I'm not
Oh, okay,
responding to
okay.
you. Yeah, I apologize.
I thought it was a World War II. No, no, no. It was it happened in because it's a Spanish film and it's a I think it takes place in like Argentina or something like that.
No, no, Spanish Civil War. It's a. I thought it was
I
in
thought it,
Spain.
oh, it might be in Spain. It might be in Spain. You might be right. You might be
It's a
right.
follow up. It's a loose follow up to Devil's Backbone, which is also about the Spanish Civil War. And the Devil's Backbone is
What's that? How
freaking
is that a follow-up?
awesome.
Love the
Huh?
Devil's Backbone. How is it a follow-up? Because I saw the Devil's Backbone too.
Because they're the same time period. It's the same. It's like the
Oh, okay.
same time period, same kind of kids lost in the Spanish Civil War period.
Yeah, it was at the orphanage.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I've thought, man.
The
That's a great film right there.
Devil's
That
Backbone is so
the
good.
actress that's in that plays her mother and Pan's Labyrinth. I love her, man. But she's like an Italian actress. Um, Pan's Labyrinth, though. But you're talking about fairy tales and stuff like that. All fairy tales. That's what they're. That's kind of. I mean, either you believe they're real, which I mean, it could be. I mean, we don't know. Unicorns and fairies and blah blah blah. But at the same time, like they're all like precautions and ways to cope with real things. Like, I mean, if you broke down everything, like Alice in Wonderland or Snow White, or even tales like Aladdin and the 40 Thieves and Sinbad and stuff like that. They all had like like coping mechanisms and teachings and they were always like warnings and precursors, like what not to do, like what to avoid, like hey, don't take stuff from strangers because you could end up in their oven eaten alive, kind of thing. um that too. I never really thought about that. Yeah, many childhood traumas are blanketed by fence to replace their attackers. No, I could see that. Like maybe
Eh, Yeah, in the book, The Body Keeps Score, it talks about how like trauma memories are actually much more clear than like memories of good times. Like, so you can have like five people talk about memories of good times, and the stories are completely different. But trauma, people will remember like the smell of the room, the color of the wall, like a little like because it's going into a different part of the brain, which is not telling a story. It's like too brutal, so it's being stored in a different part of the brain where it's like
been in two bad situations in my life, and I can remember them like beat to beat to beat to beat to beat, like
yeah, me
all
too.
the.
I remember the colors and things like of like the worst days of my life. Yeah, I remember like weird little details that haven't because it's like hard to make meaning out of horrible experiences. There's it's just
I can
so
remember.
horrifying.
I can remember good situations too, but they're though to me those are fleeting. I remember it's more like I remember just the major ones. It's like all the smaller good moments. It's either like I have to focus on them or something like that. But all the big major good moments they're there, but like not all the smaller ones. All the bad. I think small or big, it stays. Kind of thing.
Oh, you were gonna talk about a Grail comic?
Oh, I showed it earlier. That was
Is that what
the
is?
small grail was that was the
Oh, right. Oh,
that
that's a
was the small.
Grail.
Yeah, for me, it's something that I've been wanting to buy, but like I mean, it's like a $10 book. Like most of my
Mm.
grails are $10 books.
Mm-hmm.
Um, no, but I'm trying to. That's one of the. I've been trying to complete the earlier X-Men run and the '90s X-Men run, and then like 1 to 100 or 1 to 125, something like that. But then like Excalibur and a couple other books, but it was just a book that I've been looking for. And
Man,
that
I
whole
love
lot I got.
eBay.
That's what I got some other keys coming. I don't. They're coming in the mail. I don't have them yet, but I mean, I got all this whole set of Identity Crisis by 1 through 7, but I got 3 lots
What
for
about
those.
52? Do you have 52? You know that 52 issue 52 series?
I have like, and that's where it gets weird. Me and Glenn were just talking about it the other day. I have 2 issues out of that, and I have like the 2 keys. I have the first issue, I think, at 52. It begins here, and then I have like, I think I
The
have
Three
week.
Jokers one? Week 8?
No, I don't have that one. I have yeah, I think I have like week 7 or week 8, and it's the first Kate Cassandra Kane. I can go pull it up on them. I don't know
It,
why
it,
I don't have
it
it.
has like 52 on the cover, right? It says like.
Yeah, it's before the new 52. Let's go into Mike's closet. All right. Important subjects, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I kind of wanted to stream, and I kind of told people that I would, that kind of thing. I wanted to do that unboxing. I thought it was going to take a lot longer than it was because I knew I got a lot, and I couldn't remember what all I got. I'm looking for 52, right?
I think one of them is like the first like mention of three Jokers, and that's like a key in there, and then
I know I don't have that one
there's another
because I don't.
key.
It's funny. We were just talking about this the other day, me and Glenn. Where the hell did I put it on?
Yeah, so
Every-
I'm gonna send you the whole 52.
The whole 52?
Yo, I picked up the whole 52 for $10.
What?
Yes, I found some
Oh,
LCS in the Catskills, and they were just like sick of it, and they just bundled it, and they're like, it was like it used to be like 100, no one was buying, and they just kept dropping the price, and it got to $10, and I'm like, oh, I have to get 52 comics for $10, dude.
that.
It's like
Yeah, I know. I know. Right now, Glenn is like That's why I kind of bought those lots. I wanted those two comics, that Spider-Man 2099 and that Wolverine, but all the other comics I didn't have either. So I was like, fuck it.
it's gonna
And
cost me
for
more to ship it to you than it costs to get the thing.
Well, I can always send you some money.
No,
Uh,
no, you're not sending me money. I'm just gonna send it to you. I just need to know you want it.
yeah.
Yeah, all right.
No, I don't think this applies. I don't think there's any comics that I don't want. I still have Mom. I did buy all three issues of Mom, like even though I hate that series.
I did too, and because I was like, is it really gonna sustain this bad level of badness? Like that's what I was wondering. Like, could this series really?
All the way through. It never
It
got any
just,
better. Mm.
dude, and I'm technically a woke person, right? I've been woke before the woke. Okay, I've been like woke in the '90s and shit.
I've always been
That
woke.
book pissed me the fuck off. Like,
Yeah, me too.
it was so frustrating. It was so preachy. Like, because the way I see it, like, if you want anyone to like change their minds, you have to inspire them to change them. You don't yell at people to change their minds, and that never works. In fact, it makes people less likely to come over to your side. You're actually making it harder for anyone to come over your side. And guess what? If we want feminism to win, men have to get on board eventually. Like, you actually need everyone on board for it to work. So, it's like, so, like, I don't know. There's like certain movements. I'm like, but ultimately, in the end, you need everyone on board. So, like, if you just hate people, and progressives are not allowed to hate, you're not allowed to hate. It's like, it should be against the law if you're a progressive to hate, but there's hate coming out of the progressives. And that, to me, is a complete corruption of the whole ideal of progressivism.
I mean, to me, it's good to start somewhere. I'll say that.
Oh,
But
yeah, I think it's also like culturally America, like wokeness is been mainstream for so short a time that it's like 5-year-olds being like, I'm sick of shit. Like they're literally five. So like they have to get through the anger phase, let that pass over, and then okay, now what? What are you gonna do now instead of just complaining? And that's coming. I think culturally on a wide level, that's what has to happen. It's like growing pains,
yeah,
and being like really immature about shit, getting over it, getting more mature, and then coming up with real solutions. And that, I honestly, that takes like 10 years. So I'm not, you know, right now I'm not really that concerned about how stupid it is right now. I think this is just what happens when people wake up for the first time. It takes like 10 years to kind of settle down and have real solutions and not just like yell and whine and shit.
I think for me it was a little different. I finally found these comments. For me, it was a little different. I think it had a lot to do with my upbringing. I had gay family members. I had one of my favorite uncles was, homosexual, and I had an Uncle Robert and an Uncle Bill. They were some of my favorite uncles. They were so dope. Not only were they just good guys and good people, but they were also wealthy too. So that kind of like kind of it was like a double plus, but the wealth had nothing to do with it. They were just like some of my favorite family members. But my mom, like growing up, her best friend was her cousin, and her cousin was a like in the closet lesbian because back in that time in the 70s it wasn't really and still no, but like my aunt, her cousin, she finally came out, like I want to say in the 2000s or something like that. But I mean, it was always kind of there in my family. I always knew that my aunt was gay, but it was kind of like it wasn't talked about, or and she didn't flaunt it or whatever. She even had like a guy that lived with her to make it look like she was married or whatever, but they were just like
Mm.
roommates. Um, no,
Isn't that
but
like the premise of Three's Company?
yeah, yeah,
They had to pretend he's gay to get away with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, so they could get the lease or whatever. um,
That's crazy. Can you imagine a show coming out like that now? You know, it's like I don't know.
yeah,
I like a lot of how sometimes the '70s sitcoms pushed the boundaries and like Archie Bunker. He's a racist, but you learn about America through him because
yeah.
he's trying to be a good person and he's like
Well,
trying, and huh?
see, I can say one thing that all this woke stuff has, one negative that it has is a lot of people from overseas they already don't understand our race issues and our gender equality and that kind of stuff, and our whole movements forwards or backwards, or so like the little or less we talk about our stuff, the more confusing it gets for people that don't live here in the States, kind of thing. That's like just knowing certain like stereotypical foods to stay away from and that kind of thing, due to what we have over here. And that could be like something that y'all have over in Canada or something that's over in England, or, I'm pretty sure everybody I don't know. No, but the less, I don't know, the whole woke thing, like I get that, what he said right here, the whole the woke gatekeeping. I mean, like, I get it. Like, I don't need it in my face. Like, I have no problem with gay, lesbianism, anything like that. I don't, my thing is like, like, okay, I can give a, like, if anybody watched the new Chucky, I loved it. I loved the new show. It was great. Like, overall, like, where this season starts to where it ends, it was great. Um, but one of my biggest problems with that show is I don't know where those kids went to high school, but every kid at that high school was gay. Like, where's that city in America where like every person in the neighborhood is gay, and every person that goes to school is gay, and every
Is it
like
every? Oh, I didn't watch the show, so
I'm over exaggerating, but it's like that, where it's like every person you meet on the show is either like a gay, a lesbian, a bisexual, like something like that. And I'm not saying it's not there in the world. It is. I want it there in the world. But like, what city is that we're at? I get we have San Francisco, we have Montrose here, we have those areas that are heavily predominantly gay, or like but like, man, like my neighborhood and stuff like that, they don't, like, no, it's just weird because in that show, like every kid at that high school is gay, and it's like, well, what school is this? Like you talk about like ultra fantasy. It would be different if it was like every other kid was gay, or something like that. It wasn't like that. It's like every kid that you meet, every character in the show, it ends up being like homosexual or lesbian, or I think the only like regular person on the show is like Chucky. Like he's the only one. Like, he talks about, he
I
commends his son because his son's he's homosexual too. I always thought that was funny that they made his son. That's what I got. Is that what you're talking about? 52?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I have 52. Yeah.
Because that's like
Let me
one. I have to have
wait.
it.
Maybe it's. I gotta
This
find
is
it.
the.
It's in one of these epic boxes.
You know, Wokings. I hope so. Shit, I'd be down if it wasn't.
I'll I'll find it. Too many comics. Um.
No, but
You know,
have
in terms of our race issues, I think it like everyone's gonna globalization's coming, everyone's gonna be multi whatever. So even though we're dealing with it, I think it's sort of like a vaccine. Like we'll be ready in the future when everyone's like the whole globe is diverse, and they're all gonna have trouble with it. Because I already see it happening in other countries. As soon as like different groups of people show up in a homogenous country, the system starts to break down and people freak out and they make wild generalizations about a whole country of people. Like that's
I'm
coming.
waiting.
It's coming. You
I'm
know,
waiting
like
for Armageddon or Deep Impact or like 2012 or something like that to happen, so the whole world could just work together and get over this shit.
well, you
Like
know, Walking Dead.
yeah, Walking Dead.
Walking Dead is like that.
Yeah, it
Like
was.
Walking Dead is the only show I've seen that's like post-racial in a way that doesn't feel stupid, and it's the only show I've never seen a show with like the Walking Dead universe is actually a post-racial show.
Yeah, but they
It
have
doesn't
stuff in
seem to,
the
you know,
society stuff come back kind of thing.
like, but
Because
there's no race issues. Yeah, I don't know if you realize that in that show.
in the beginning there are.
Oh yeah, in the very beginning with the super angry hick characters,
Yeah,
right? But I'm saying, but after that, it's like it just
yeah, it
almost
goes
doesn't
away.
exist. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm like, wow, that's the only vision of a post-racial America like that I buy. You know, I believe in it. That's the only one I've ever seen in media where I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel fake.
Oh yeah, 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 right there. And the whole Star Trek, yeah, but that's a given. Man, if we, I want to figure out how Star Trek did that, but they don't use money. There's no money in Star Trek. Like,
Yeah, capitalism. That's a post-capitalism world, by the way. I don't know if you all realize Star Trek is post-capitalism. That's the world without capitalism.
right? I want
Yeah.
to do that.
What does that
Um,
mean, you know?
if you don't hear a term that you know, you better ask one of us so you know what the hell we're talking about. I'll talk about. Well, I don't care. People they stay away from certain topics, like the woke topic and this and that. I don't.
If English never changed because of new words, we would speak therefore I, you know, like English would sound all fucking weird and we wouldn't, you know, understand. Like English changed a lot because of new words, you know, and people say on accident a lot these days. That's not correct, but now it's considered okay cuz enough people said on accident instead of by accident. You know, language shifts, you know, like that's sort of the beauty of language and also like use guys, you know, use guys, like that phrase actually exists in a lot of other languages to say you it's like a I'm not good with the grammar rules, but in other languages they have a phrase that is like you guys, but here it's like or y'all, right?
Yeah,
But here it's
y'all.
a slang even though it's actually like a legit phrase in other languages, but ultimately it should just be like y'all is a should be happening.
Y'all. That's a us thing down here. That's like a southern thing. Is y'all like YALL y'all?
But it's a
Um,
very useful phrase. It's like it has actually strong use cases.
yeah. No, we
Yeah.
have a lot down here that we use like thought. Dead ass. I like dead ass, but
Dead ass. New York uses New York.
dead
Sometimes I'll say all of the dead asses. I'm saying all of the dead asses.
bet. That's one of my favorite ones. Bet. People are like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Bet." It
Bet.
just means, yeah. You don't know that one?
Mm-mm.
Dude, like BET, bet. But the way you say it is like you say it after it's like agreeing on something. Like, hey, I'm on my way. And you say bet. Like, it's just a quicker way of saying okay or something like that. Like,
Oh, like you
but you can,
bet. It's like short for you bet.
yeah, like for a guaranteed, like bet. Like, that's kind of how you take it. But you could say it towards anything. Like, oh, you gonna get that new comic? Bet. You know, oh, you gonna pick up that new Batman 118? Bet. You know,
That's from
what's that?
you're hearing that in Texas.
Oh, we use it in here. Everybody in Texas uses it.
I never heard that ever in my life.
Oh yeah, I use it with like a couple of people I talk with and stuff like that. But like dead ass, they use that a lot. They use there's always constantly new words like I'm trying to think. There's another popular one that's going around right now. Damn. Nah, but there's like new phrases and stuff like
Or
that.
when you say like I be hustling, right? It might not sound grammatically correct, but there's a use case. It's saying that you're constantly past, present, future hustling.
So,
And it's a
yeah.
faster way to say in all moments I'm hustling or I be hustling. You know, it's like a faster way to because it
Well,
breaks through space time, right? So it's like there's a use case. There's like very strong use cases for a lot of these fucked up,
well,
you
I
know,
know earlier,
grammatical errors.
I know earlier, somebody had mentioned the station thing, and I've gotten asked that a bunch. What does station mean? And that's one, but it's like a regurgitation of an old catchphrase, but like not in a bad way, but like it's not something it's current now that they're using, but it comes from the 80s.
So from
Um,
what I understand, it's like something from Bill and Ted that didn't really catch on in the culture. And then from what I understand in terms of like the epistemology of the phrase in YouTube is Rockin' Robbie Phillips from Pop Culture Philosophers he started to use that a lot. He's got a lot of dedicated followers. And so then they started using it after he started using it and it spread enough in the comic book community that it's become a comic book thing, you know? It's been kind of a comic community salute, which is unique to us because we don't necessarily have that much unique to us, I guess.
no, because everybody imagines us to do the whole like Spock thing, and like that was like the 90s and 80s way. um, yeah, I don't know if we do now, but we have our own slang like floppies and stuff like that. Like I've used like comic book slang, and people don't know what the fuck we're talking about, like omnis,
No, but I
floppies,
mean like may the force be
fax.
with you, right? Live long and
Oh,
prosper. You know, like a greeting,
oh yeah,
part
yeah,
of
yeah. Nah, stations are probably like all we have right now. Like besides saying hello and everything. Um, you could say like, comment, subscribe. No, I'm playing.
or
That's
what
our.
up comic fam?
What up, fam? What up, fam? You know.
Yeah,
um,
fam, like
fam. That's another because somebody asked me what was fam, and I was like family, like jelly. You know what jelly means?
jealous.
Yeah, jealous. Yeah,
Yeah, you're jealous. Oh,
I was
you jelly?
goat. You know what goat means?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah, greatest of all time. Beanbags.
Yeah, beanbags, yeah. It's when you like you want to practice quick, you know, punching. So you find a dude and you get underneath him and you beanbag.
When you beanbag the shit out of them, yeah,
Yeah. You never usually get past 3 punches. Usually it's over
he
after
knocks
2.
out. Yeah.
Well, you gotta get the left nut. The left nut will take him down. I don't know if you noticed that. Like one nut seems to be a lot more vulnerable than the other nut.
Yeah, I will attest to that. I think I will say my
Yeah.
left is a little weaker than the right one. I don't know
Yeah, it's
why.
that left nut. It's the secret. It's the secret ultimate. So if you're gonna knee somebody,
You go
use
for
your
the
right
left,
knee. Well, use your right knee to get their left nut. You know,
the left bean there.
and that's the end. You know, and there's this whole idea of like how people say you know someone's a pussy, but like honestly, vaginas are very resilient. They spit out babies. They like almost you know, whereas balls are actually very fragile. Balls are actually the weak
Snap.
little thing. Yeah, so it's like
Yeah, you know,
you
you
should be
crack.
calling people like you know balls. don't be don't be a pair of balls. Don't be a beanbag.
That means you probably, he's like one of my bean bags, always hangs lower. Yeah.
Maybe it's
You got
protecting, you know, it's blocking, you know, it's like in boxers they have the arm up like here, so then the shoulders blocking the this cheek
to
and this.
use your hip to protect them nuts, man. You just turn to the side a little bit.
I got
Cats are
kneed in
also.
a I was
Yeah.
kneed in a sparring session. I got kneed in the nuts really hard, and then I had to go to hospital, right? And I had all a series of women doctors, and they would ask me, "How much does it hurt from 1 to 10?" And I'd be like, "I don't know. What's one? What's 10?" They're like, "7
Right.
is constant pain." I'm like, 8, right? And everyone's asking me. All these women are asking me, and then I get an ultrasound done on my balls, and I hear my balls, through the ultrasound. It's like, and they're like, "That's good. That's a good thing." And then this other nurse finally she comes over and she's like, "Do you want morphine for the pain?" And I'm like, "For the pain? Okay." And then morphine, and I was like so hot. But I pretended like I didn't know what she was talking about. I was like, "Yeah, give me the morphine. I'll take the morphine." Um, I'm not condoning opioid use, but
No.
it was just it
When
was
you're
just
in pain,
funny.
when
I
you're
was
in
in pain. I
pain,
was in actual pain. Yeah, I couldn't
yeah.
walk.
No, but
Ultrasound on your balls is a very unique experience because it almost feels like a baby, but it's not a
they just have,
baby. It's your
they
balls.
just have a speaker, or they gave you a headset and they were like,
They
"Hey,
put the
listen."
gel on my balls and they put the thing on my balls, and then I could hear it. I was like hearing my balls. I was like, "Oh my god, that's my balls."
Were you trying to talk to them and stuff? You're like, "Hey,
I
how's it
just wanted to know
going?
they're still doing well.
Good work, guys. Just keep it up."
Because we didn't
I'll
know.
be
We
there.
got scared. Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't looking good for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to take care of the jewels, man. They're sacred, that kind of thing. We had
In
Jesus.
Buddhism,
How
how
cold
cold?
was it? Oh, I'm pretty sure it was like
Like
I
any gel, that's like on a shelf. Gel on a shelf.
chill on the shelf. Well, on your shelf.
Yeah, and when you need it, it's like pretty cold. It's not good. We gotta have gel warmers, on supply, like on standby.
No, you got to have like, and you know what's fucked up is they know that it's cold, right? You go in the hospital, and like they know they're gonna put some cold shit on your nuts, and like
Yeah,
they don't
Nick,
give you
just
towel. They
we're
don't.
just to catch you up. We're talking about putting gel on your balls for
Yeah,
ultrasounds. Yeah,
in case
in case just
anybody
to get the
else.
context and how there should be gel warmers for those
Uh-huh.
kind of cases.
Sit there. When it's like when they go in there with the glove and they cup them. I mean, I swear they got their hands in a freeze locker before that. Like they in a chiller, and they're like, "Okay, are you ready?"
They're
They're like
wearing
10.
gloves.
Yeah, they're wearing gloves.
That's gonna
They're
make
all
it. They
like,
gotta. That means they gotta feel harder though, because the sensitivity is not as good.
"You're right, you're right."
And by the way, just a little context. We're talking about hospitals, not dungeons. We could be talking about
Yeah,
dungeons, but right now
we
it's
can go.
hospitals.
Yeah, it's up to the chat. We
I mean,
can talk
dungeons.
about.
Sometimes the gel is warm, so it's a different. Not the same problems sometimes.
No, see, that's me, Nick. Yeah, I'm that guy. Like where I hop into bed and my feet are always like frozen, and my hands are always frozen. My ex-wife used to hate that, man. What's up? Hey, my name, man. Um, First time on my chat, buddy. Ha ha.
My buddy had a
Buddy,
hernia. My dad had
yes,
hemorrhoids. It's
I
not
had a hernia.
exactly the same. You had hernia.
Yeah, back in my
It just
20s,
happened.
I was lifting something heavy and it happened, and that's what it feels like. It's like right behind your nuts, like that taint area. It feels like someone's constantly like pressing there.
Wow.
It feels like constant pressure there. Yeah, it sucks. I could, and we can do that as an educational,
Yeah.
what
Wanna
not to do.
we're dropping the knowledge bombs.
Take a warm towel. Yeah, I got lucky. I didn't have to have surgery. That's what he was saying. I got lucky, and mine wasn't that bad, where I didn't have to have surgery. I just had I couldn't lift anything for a little while and blah blah. But I can say, man, it sucks.
Uncomfortable
Uncomfortable.
boys.
Yeah. No. No, you gotta be careful, especially as you get older. You know, we think we're invincible and stuff. And that was like me. I mean, it was something, it was like I was lifting like something that was light, like 20 pounds or something. And then it was just the way I lifted it with my back instead of my knees and stuff. And that's what did
Mm.
it. Um,
You ever do
you
like
know,
kettlebell stuff?
now at the time, I didn't really like, I don't think it hurt or anything then. I think it was like days later is when I started getting the pain. And then
I
like I went in
recommend kettlebell
kettlebell.
because it's so easy. It's like such an easy exercise, but it does like everything almost. The only exercise kettlebell, the only muscle group you don't really get to with the kettlebell is just the swing, right? Is You need to do with dips, because that's the only muscle group you're not really getting with at when you
Yeah.
do, but you're getting everything, like everything, and cardio and muscle strengthening, but it's so easy. It's like,
Yeah, I've seen the cow one. I've seen when they start promoting and stuff. I mean, but a lot of those exercises I was doing when I was doing calisthenics and stuff, so it's not that far off, you know. Because you don't need all the mass weights, you know.
yeah, I don't like exercising, but I don't want to be like old and like, can't move and shit. So I exercise just to maintain like just health, but I'm trying to simplify it as much as I can. So like for me, like kettlebell's so easy. I don't have to like do this and that and all this and just one thing. Just
Did you
a
ever
hundred of
try that?
these. Hmm?
Did you ever try that like ab wheel back in the day? You know, where you like,
Oh yeah, I can do that. I can do those. I have
yeah,
one, but I don't use it that often. I'm not really. I like traditional sit ups and put. I like the idea of like tiny prison cell working out like Bane. Bane didn't have all the shit. Bane was just all he had was a little room. But he
and it
got
was dark.
effing jacked. Yeah,
Yeah,
just push ups, sit ups. That's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much
And,
squats.
just you and a mat and the cowbell. Well, I mean, not the
Huh?
cowbell, the weight. You
Maybe I
know.
should do the Bane workout series where I have a Bane mask on and I'm doing like tiny prison exercises and then I get a muscle suit and I show like before and after.
Yeah. No, you get remember the prison suits there with the bathing suits? It was like the with the black and white stripes or whatever, and you get the like, and you just start posting those on Instagram, like of your cowbell workouts, like in that prison, you know. Man, you talk about inspiration.
Well, it's gotta be like,
Dang,
yeah, huh?
Dang is like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, I get it. I want it to really feel like it's Bane, you know,
Hmm. I don't
because
know.
I actually love that first Bane comic, like Vengeance of Bane, right? That's his first appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a prestige format book. I
Yeah.
loved it because to me that was like a story about sheer willpower, just fucking determination and willpower, and you just can't help but love him in that story, even though he's like a evil psychopath. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
He was on a run, man. Nah, but that whole most of that book, yeah, his origin. That's most of that book was him working out and like him getting ready to take out the bat. I thought that was
And then he
badass.
would almost drown every night, so he got to swim every day, trying not to die from the water coming into his cell. Fucking
Yeah,
biting rats' heads off and eating rats. That's a lot of cardio.
I have the second book, but I don't have the first one. I have Vengeance of Bane number 2, but not the first one. I used to have it,
I used to have it too. Now it's worth like a good chunk of change. And
the
those
two other.
second prints, man. Ooh, the third print of that. There's a third print. It's really expensive.
I had the two other keys that I bought recently was that they're on their way, but I've been picking up smaller like more recent, Batman keys and stuff like that. But Mr. Bloom was one that I picked up. I picked up his key and his origin. And then recently I picked up that Captain Carrot and the Zoo Crew. I got President Superman coming, and I got one other one. Oh, Anarchy.
Hmm.
Anarchy from Batman. They're all really cheap keys, man. I picked up Anarchy for like I think
I'm reading
$2.
Ronin again. You know, right?
Running. So, yeah,
Um, I didn't know it at the time because I was he like totally ripped off Yojimbo.
yeah.
He stole plot elements out of Yojimbo. And I didn't connect it when I first read it as a kid, but now I'm like, oh, he totally. And I'm gonna do the same shit. I'm gonna be stealing Kurosawa stuff in my. I do that too. When I wrote this epic series called Denia, and there's this whole scene where like he escapes the facility, but he does it the way Yojimbo did in the movie. You know, this is so clever. What a clever ass movie, Yojimbo. Everybody should watch Yojimbo.
Yeah, Jimbo's dope, dude. Um,
Surprisingly good. It's one of the best samurai films of all time, and he's a very American type. Actually, it's very
oh,
non-Japanese. Like the character of Yojimbo, he's like not traditional. He's sort of a weirdo amongst Japanese people in Japan, and Kurosawa was criticized at the time for making a movie that was way too Western. And
see, I'm kind of on the like Lone Wolf and Cub. Like I'm on
yeah,
that side of like the samurai films. I like
this
the Jimbo though. It was a great movie. But like like what was it? Seven Samurai. That to me that's dope.
well, so there's like a timeline too. Seven Samurai is 1955. Yojimbo is like 61,
Yeah.
and the Lone Wolf and Cub films are the 70s. So it's like so it just escalates the violence and the cunningness and all that. So I don't know if you've seen the six films of the Lone Wolf and Cub because it's actually like a six film
Yeah,
series.
I think I've seen like four, and then it gets sketchy whether I've seen the last two because a bunch of them it's like they start they're almost the same movie. Like just regard they just switch out the villain for another one.
Well,
Um,
actually, it just ends too. It doesn't end like the movie series just ends out of nowhere without a conclusion. It's deeply
like
unsatisfying. It's no, the sixth film is just so unsatisfying. The
you know,
Musashi series is pretty good about Musashi Miyamoto. Hmm?
what's that about? I'm trying to remember if I've
It's a
seen that. It
trilogy.
sounds
Uh, it's a trilogy called
it's black and
Musa.
white.
No, it's in color. It's Toshiro
Oh,
Mifune, the actor that plays Yojimbo, plays Musashi Miyamoto in a three-film series, and it won
I don't know.
Academy Awards and stuff. And
What's the
he's the
story?
guy that and he's a real person, and he developed a two-sword fighting,
Oh yeah. I have
and
seen. Yeah,
he
yeah, I
was
have
never
seen.
defeated. And he wrote the Book of Five Rings, like a strategy book on
Yeah,
fighting and stuff.
but Seven Rings right here. Yeah, I do remember.
Oh, Seven Ring, Book of
Yes.
Seven Rings.
Yeah.
Oh, Seven Rings.
Hey, what's up, Greg?
Oh shit, I lost two of the rings.
Uh,
Good evening.
Dracula. Norad earlier, before we get too off topic and goes too far deep in the chat, he said, "What's my Matrix review? No spoiler scale, 1 to 10. I give it a 7. Honestly, if I went
Oh, me too. I give it a 7.
is honestly without no spoilers, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't like super great. So that's why I'd say
Yeah,
it was still a good
yeah,
watch. It was good enough. It was good enough that I could even watch it again. I'd say
yeah.
that.
I agree.
Um,
It's worth.
I can I can say that it had good surprises. They left a lot of stuff out of the trailers, so I can say that I like that. And I can say that, I mean, for the plot wise, it was actually kind of decent. It caught me off guard because I didn't, the beginning part of the story, I knew that part was obvious. But then it was like some of the explanation. I can say there was one explanation that caught me off guard, and I should have remembered the first Matrix, and it would have helped a lot. But I would not suggest rewatching the first trilogy before you watch this one. I know a lot of people like to do that to catch up. Don't do that. The first 20 minutes of this movie is just like a rewind of those movies. Um,
Uh,
yeah, I hear anything
yeah,
with Sony. I love Sony Chiba. There's certain
yeah.
actors, just like
Rest in peace. He just died.
yeah, recently.
Yeah,
I love Sony Chiba. I mean, of course, he was in Kill Bill and stuff, but a lot of his older films, like he was in what was it, Sister Street Fighter,
it's
or
the Street Fighter series. Street Fighter. The
yeah,
Street Fighter. and he would be
Uh,
like, he kept doing that like chi breath work, like that karate breath work, and there's like a lot of scenes of them just going, and then
because
like
that's
punching your heart out and stuff.
Because that's like two of my favorite martial artists. We're going way over the spectrum here, okay? So I know everybody like loves Bruce Lee and stuff like that, and I grew up with Bruce Lee, but honestly, he's not one of my favorite martial artists, and it has nothing to do with Bruce Lee and everything. It goes into like his versatility and stuff like that. But honestly, my favorite is Jackie Chan. Hands down, I love Jackie Chan, and and it's amazing because my three top films of Jackie Chan, they're three films that most people have never even seen before or heard of. But my first two is his movies. They're called The Laughing Hyena 1 and 2, and it's part one and part two. But it's called The Laughing Hyena, and then the third movie is a movie that he did over here. Well, it's a mix, but it was called Gorgeous. But Gorgeous is actually based on like it's partly based on real life events about him and his wife. Um,
You should watch the Shinjuku Incident. Have you heard of this Jackie
oh
Chan
yeah,
film?
yeah,
He's
yeah,
a
yeah,
bad guy. Jackie Chan plays
yeah.
a bad guy. He forms a gang. He doesn't do any kung fu fighting, and everyone is like brutally murdered almost. And it's brutal. And Jackie Chan, he can act. Unfortunately, he's
He just
pro-Chinese government. He was the son of Hong Kong. Like the thing about Jackie Chan is Hong Kong. He represented Hong Kong, and Hong Kong people love Jackie Chan. But now he's supporting the Chinese government and their crackdown of the Hong Kong people, and it really is breaking the hearts of people in Hong Kong. It's like a big deal.
yeah. No, going off the chat real quick, but I love all those. Like I just love him as an actor. That's like Arnold. See. That's why I don't get into the personal lives. Like I don't care what they do. Like for me, as long as like it doesn't show up in the movies, kind of thing. Like, would you say like
It is now though. His that shit is showing up in his movies now because the films he makes now in China are definitely like propaganda pieces for the Chinese
I haven't seen,
government.
the only one I've seen of his recent stuff is probably like the Monkey Prince stuff, and I haven't though. It was like the one like
Oh,
it
that
was the
American movie with
and
Jet
that
Li in it.
yeah, and that's probably like that's like
That was
his
probably
more
like
recent.
15 years ago or some shit. That's an old movie now though.
No, I think I've seen some other ones. He did a war movie that I saw. I don't know, but it was a timepiece. It was like because the his more. I mean, I don't know who did the Foreigner. Was the Foreigner was it
Oh yeah,
American?
that's American. That's by the guy I think that did the Bourne movies.
No,
Something like
that was
that. That was cool. I like that movie. That was fun.
it's kind of like the villain. Um,
His Chinese films are super propaganda. Like yeah.
I've heard that Shang-Chi that they want him for the sequel. What's up, Freaky Louie? Rumble in the Bronx, my first. I, I think my first Jackie Chan movie it was Rumble in the Bronx because
Most
that was our
Americans.
yeah because that was our first theatrical like release and that wasn't his first American made but that was his first like
Hit
American theatrical. Yeah, because it was like Rumble in the Bronx, Super Cop, like Operation
after
Condor.
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
because I was a bit like, and that's like for me, like after Rumble in the Bronx, I fell in love with him in that his style in that movie. But it's sad to say because I'd seen him in Enter the Dragon, I'd seen him, and I didn't know that was Jackie. You know, I mean, it took me a while to like go back, and I was like, oh yeah, I do know this guy. I've seen him in other movies.
I think he's in
Um,
Chinese Connection too. He plays like he played the body double of a guy that gets kicked in the face and like is shot through a wall, and that's
oh,
Jackie. Because Jackie, he was always down to do the hardest, most difficult stunts.
he
So
was
they're like, all
in
right, put Jackie in there.
he was in Cannonball too, or Cannonball One. Like he was like one of the villain in the movie with like Burt Reynolds and that
Yeah,
wasn't and that was him that was like technically you could say that was his first like American appearance. I think was Cannonball Run 2. I think it was. Um,
You know, they recently realized they recently uncovered that Bruce Lee was like into cocaine a lot. He was actually like really into cocaine. They found out recently, and it totally changes the way you look at Enter the Dragon because it's like when he started to really get
Wait,
into coke and that
Bruce Lee or
Bruce
Jackie?
Lee, no Bruce
Bruce,
Lee.
see that. Bruce Lee, I was about
So
to say
like
Jackie. I don't know if I could
yeah,
see that.
so
He does.
before Enter the Dragon, he plays kind of like low key characters that are kind of like funny and quirky and relaxed, and then Enter the Dragon, he's like so fucking intense. I I have to say I think that might have something to do with cocaine.
I could see that though, but that was that time too, and some of the people he did, like we did know he did meet certain individuals while he was alive. So I mean, it kind of made sense. Like I could see that. Like
They found hundreds of letters that he wrote to his drug dealer asking for more cocaine, hash, and acid.
yeah,
And
that, that
and
doesn't mean that was
and
for him.
his wife wrote it too. No, and then his wife wrote letters to the drug dealer asking for more drugs for him. And like, there's a lot of letters, and they're verified to actually be Bruce Lee. And it was a guy in Chinese Connection, the Russian, the white guy that worked for the Japanese, and he's like yeah, that was Bruce Lee's drug dealer. That guy. And they found a collection of letters that he had after he died that were from Bruce Lee being like, "Yo, can you get me some more of that, that stuff, And like it's like coded messages, but it's all about cocaine, hash, and it gets like more and more intense. He's asking for more and more over time but they didn't know cocaine was that bad back then.
He'd be like
But
he
yeah,
had
but
that,
like Enter a Dragon, he's just like he's like so intense.
you know.
That
I
might
could
have been
see that.
coke.
I could say like with Bruce Lee, I could kind of believe that. I mean, especially like even the way his body was built, because he wasn't like a big built guy. He was just very toned and
But in
I
Enter
mean,
Dragon, he was extra like kind of svelte and toned. Like he's just been doing too much coke. He's like not, like
cause as the powdered toast man from Ren and Stimpy and shit. He'd be like, oh, no. But that's like okay, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was like that, during his whole like, and he admits to it. Like most of his boxing stint was usually like coked out or something. Like and there was a bunch of them that were like that. And I think it was just at times like it
but
was kind of
now
like it's. Well, I think it's like more shame on us, bro, because we idolize these rock stars and these famous people for partying and like being known for having crazy backstages and stuff like that. So how can you not put two and two together that these famous people are actually doing that? Like
but
you
Tyson
know,
had a real turnaround, with the DMT.
yeah, dude, well,
Really
Tyson's
yeah. No he doesn't do cocaine anymore. He just smokes weed now. But he
he
was
does
like doing everything. Hmm?
he does poetry.
Yeah, but it
You
was
know,
since he did the toad and realized like he just needs to love himself. Like he didn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
like that was the thing, and he like loved himself for the first time, and it's like completely changed him. And it's honestly it's so beautiful like to witness that. Like
Man, he's had like, and that's when they say people can't change. That's BS. People can. They have to want to change. They have to. Um,
I mean the
sometimes they
artist, yeah.
change.
Yeah, I mean the artist David Cho, he used to think he had to suffer to make art, and he would like fucking punch his face till it bled and use the blood to paint and shit, and because he thought, but like I think suffering can trigger an artist, but you don't need suffering to make art.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause
I,
yeah,
I
I
was
don't
the
think there's a good artist that didn't suffer. Actually, I actually think there's a component of suffering necessary to become a great artist, but you don't need to suffer to be an artist. And David Cho realized that too later on. He's like, he realized he doesn't need to suffer, and that's this myth he told himself that he had to suffer to make great art. And this is like this romanticized myth about suffering, which frustrates me. But because there's a little truth in that, but it's not how it works. Not exactly.
um, some of that sells though. It's like Adele. Like when the world found out like, from her first album, that's why she was singing about, and that's what she was going through. I mean, you can't tell me that that didn't help propel, like, it didn't add to the story, to the music, kind of thing. And I'm not saying this in a bad way or anything. It's not. It is like, the more you know about something, but it's like you said, you don't have to struggle to do that. She wasn't struggling at that time. It was like she was relating on past stuff.
But
Um,
her and Rain Wilson, they had right. Rain Wilson, that's her. Is that no Rebel Wilson? They both went through like massive weight loss, both of them, and they talk about how it's they realize like it's because it had to do with like their self love, and the eating was had to do with some sort of like you know issues they had to address, and that sort of helped them lose weight. It wasn't about they were obsessed with losing weight. It was like they realized the reason they had trouble losing weight was because they didn't like love themselves as much or some. I don't know if that's exactly what Rebel Wilson said, but she was annoyed because her management company were like trying to pressure her not to lose weight
yeah, because
because
she was
her brand is the funny fat girl, and she was like really disturbed by that. She's like, wow, like they
that
don't
kind. I
want me to
mean,
be healthy, like.
it does make. I mean, it makes sense on a branding, but on the other end, like, no, it doesn't make sense to the human condition. Like, you don't want somebody to be unhealthy, especially if they're willing to change and ready to change. Like, let them change. Like, let them try and get healthy and live better and that kind of thing. I don't go against the either or, like I've said that before, and if you want to live your life and be like that, and that's like such a derogatory word, like fat. But if you want to be overweight, or I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If you're happy with it, then that's up to you, as long as you're still healthy, kind of thing. That's
I
what
have
that's
a
what
I have sort of an eating disorder kind of pattern. I used to be a kind of a fat kid, and and then I'll do it. I'll get into like I'll gain like 15 pounds, lose 15. I do that kind of up and down shit based on like how I'm doing emotionally. Like I do that. I do emotional eating, and I picked that up from my mom, and um I don't know. Just try not to do that.
I don't have that kind of pattern. My pattern's the opposite, where I usually don't eat enough versus, but that was like he was saying this suggests animals and humans and eat less, and then others will live 30% longer. I could kind of say so because we do overindulge ourselves, kind of thing. I think
Well,
that's the
yeah,
problem.
yeah,
It's
I mean,
more,
the human brain, we were programmed to love meat and sweet things like berries because you came upon it very rarely in nature. So anytime you catch a fucking thing, you're gonna eat like until you can't stop. You like eat almost insatiably, and like berries in a tree, you eat like beyond what you need because you're not getting that shit for another like 2 months, right? So our human brains were programmed to eat certain foods insatiably without stopping. But now we can access all of this stuff anytime we want, and that's the problem. And the food companies know that we're hardwired to eat this stuff without limits. So they're just designing food to be like that more and more, which is not, of course, it's like fucking with our brain. Like they know how our brains work, and they're designing foods to be addictive.
it's also the way, like, like I know, here in America, society is set up, because I know here in America it's sold that, like, you're not eating a full complete meal unless you get full, something like that, unless you're full or whatever. And we do overindulge, I mean, like, I mean, think about Christmas coming up. Who's not going to overindulge at that Christmas dinner table, and eat like, to your heart's content, and then you're gonna get all lazy and lay around, and
I mean, I
I
think
mean,
that's
I'm
part of yeah, that's the principle of intermittent fasting. Like,
yeah, yeah.
go nuts, and then don't eat for like a long time, and then go nuts, and then don't eat for a long time. It's like don't even try to stop yourself, but just when you do that in a short period of time.
Well, just think about it like that. Like, somebody explained to me a long time ago, and it kind of makes sense. Think about two different animals that we have in existence, right? Think about a bear and think about a horse. You ever seen fat on a horse? You ever seen a fat horse?
Horses
No,
don't hibernate.
they're all
Bears
muscle.
hibernate.
They're
But
nothing
bears
but muscle.
hibernate.
Yeah,
What?
bears hibernate.
Yeah.
They bears hibernate. They
So
gorge them.
you need fat stores in order to sleep that long without eating. Like it's like if we hibernated, I mean, people gain winter fat, right? Um, I wish we hibernated. That'd
I
be
don't know about
cool.
that. I don't like sleeping. See, I'm the opposite where I don't like sleeping. I know the whole rest of the world. People are like, I love my sleep and this and that. I love my sleep and this and that. But I'm not. If I could skip it, boy, I would skip it. If I didn't need to sleep, I feel like it's a waste of time. Like if I could be up them 8 hours versus like or 7 hours or whatever, like man, I would be up doing stuff. Like I'd be reading or watching TV or regular same shit. But
It's like a 5 year old. Kids don't like to sleep. Little kids, they don't want to sleep.
Look, Jack's coming in with the real life. He said Bruce Lee didn't have any fat either. Do horses do cocaine as well? Now, see, you're getting it. You're getting the reference now.
You're making
Right?
connections, yo.
Sleep eaters, yeah. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I want to
Excuse.
and we all take pictures of ourselves pre-hibernation and then post-hibernation.
Yeah, so, is the theory that you're gonna go to sleep fat, and when you wake up, you're gonna be sleep. When you wake up, how long are you sleeping? Like 6 months?
No, no, like probably like 2 months, 2 3 months. Yeah,
Okay.
you wake up a little bit and then you kind of go back to sleep. You wake up to piss and shit and you go back to sleep. You wake up to piss and shit and then you're like slowly just your body's eating the fat. That's how it would
So,
work if we actually managed to fucking
so we could make this an evolution thing where
I
like
mean, if we
every
write a book called The Hibernation Diet, right? It can be a New York Times bestseller. And then, and we lie that we're doctors and nutritionists and we make a bunch of money and then we sell like special cookies, part of the hibernation diet, cash out, tell everyone it was
doc,
a prank.
Dr. Dank and
Um,
Dr.
yeah. And then people will respect us for being such good business people.
See, but that's at first. Do you think in like 50 years or something like that, it'll actually change? Like will evolve into people that like have to hibernate every winter, like where we that actually becomes like that could become like the next religion, the next Scientology, where people like, they model their lives off of this, gorging hibernation.
Well, I did hear it's best if you like kind of dim your lights as night comes. Slowly dim the lights.
Why do they say that?
Oh,
Doctor,
because it's healthier for your natural like sleep cycles to like mimic the actual daylight and night in the house as well as outside. And then early in the morning when the sun comes up, you try to get a lot of light in because it tells your clock what
is
to
that what they were
do, and it.
Is that what they were trying to do with like the Hulk? And they were like the sun rises, and they were like the sun sets, and is that what it was? Like that there
I
it
don't
was that
know.
whole.
I remember that. I remember that. I don't know. They were trying to do something romantic, and like no one gave a shit, so they like totally dropped that subplot with Black
I
Widow
don't
and
know.
Bruce Banner. They just totally just like pretended like that shit never happened.
Oh yeah, that I forget about, and I apologize. I forget that most of the world's on lockdowns. I'm sorry. Um, I apologize. I forget. I know over here we talk about like getting to go to the LCS and getting to go to the movies, and you're over there on lockdown. So
Oh, they're on lockdown. Who's on lockdown? The Canadians?
hmm I know Australia is too. I think, or
Oh,
Australia
like
might not be.
business. They did it. Wow.
Yeah.
Like in America, they're even. Yeah, no one has a stomach for it right now. It's like on both sides of the spectrum. They're just like everyone's trying to be like, I don't know if we have the stomach for more lockdown. Like, so our government is trying to give out as many rapid tests as we can. Just be like, look, if you're gonna meet, just rapid tests, please.
Commit hibernation. About the special cookies, or it doesn't exist right now with the intermittent lockdowns. Hibernation. What?
It's hard, man. People stuck with the same people all the time, 24/7. It's like it's mentally
Over
very
here, where I'm at,
taxing.
nobody really talks about it. I mean, like most people don't. I mean, it's like most of the people are wearing masks and stuff like that, but nobody. It's kind of like more like a choice thing. Nobody. It's
Dude, Omicron is spreading like crazy right now. Like, so many people are getting it. But luckily, it's less severe so far. You know,
mm,
and hopefully, it means it could be a sign that's near the end, the pandemic. Maybe not, but it could be because, generally speaking, viruses they want to be just contagious and not kill you anyway. That's like the end goal of a virus. Because if it just kills everyone, then that's the end of the virus. Like it's not biologically it's not in favor of the virus. The successful virus doesn't kill people and just spreads. So, well, who knows? We'll see. But hopefully, this could be a sign of the end.
no, don't say that. Get out of here.
I'm just being
I don't.
optimistic. Like that's the optimistic perspective because that's usually that's how these happen. Like they get to a point where they're just contagious without killing you. Like because if they just kill you, it fails as a virus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think we'll beat this one. I mean, I know it's bad and everything, but each one of them has spiked in both the like the same ways, kind of thing. I think it's just a tally of it all together. At this point, if you took all the
But it
variations.
looks like this one peaks faster.
I did
It
see
looks
that.
like yeah, and that's the
Extreme.
data we're getting from South Africa, and it looks like it has a quick peak, and the $1 trillion question is, does getting Omicron give you antibodies against Delta and stuff and other COVID, right? So, because if that's the case, I mean, that's the question. That's the big question, and we don't know yet. Like, if you survive Omicron, does it give you immunity against Delta? Because Delta's much more deadly.
I don't think so. I don't think any of them did. That's the problem with this virus is I don't think you gain any immunity after any of them. You just got to keep doing.
Well, I mean, I think Delta prevented you getting Delta again, but Delta didn't seem to prevent Omicron.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? By the way, I just want to preface we want to be scientists. We're not quite scientists. We're sort of doctors, but only in like the Doctor Doom kind of sense. So, you know, take the information we have with a grain of salt. Like Dr. Seuss. We're as much doctors as Dr. Seuss, Dr. Doom, and Dr. Demento. But, we deserve a little respect, but, not the same kind of doctor as.
No, we're just talking about it. I mean, we have been all over. Yeah, we're not exactly talking about comics. That's the whole point. I did comics like the first 10 minutes of this live stream or 15 minutes where I showed off my comics, and the rest of the stream we've just been chatting about any way we've been flowing.
Oh.
Maybe not sad. It's again. Is it that time you got to go?
I think I need to go.
It's been 3 hours and 47 minutes. I think this is where I'm gonna kick it off, man.
Oh, you're going to kick it off? You've been going like 5 hours though, right?
Yeah, well, no, 3 hours and 47 minutes right now.
No, I'm saying
But
in other streams.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, quackery. Yep.
But,
We're
I mean,
definitely expert quacks. No doubt. We're definitely top level expert
I
quackery
admit.
doctors. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, but I think this is where I'm gonna kick it off. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. Anybody that catches the rewind, please don't forget to hit the like button. Um, no, but I really thank you for hopping on, Dank. It has been really interesting. We have been talking about all kind of crazy stuff, but that's kind of the point. I mean,
And also remember, from this day on, we're going to get more and more sunlight every day. So that's something to look forward to. More and more sunlight every day. We passed the point of the least sunlight. So every day you're going to get a little more sun. That's up.
um,
That's something we can look forward to.
later on tonight, I'm gonna be on Drac stream when he goes. Me and Tylox, we're gonna hop on actual Dracula show tonight. I think it's 10:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. That's kind of one of the reasons I wanted
Oh yeah, he's Canadian. How do we not?
I said
We didn't.
Adrian.
Oh, oh, you said. Oh, I didn't know his real name.
I said Adrian. I love Adrian. Adrian was one of the first people I started talking about because I was talking about Freaky Louie.
I don't know everyone's real names.
Yeah, but yeah, I talked about actual Dracula.
My
Um,
real name is Stacy, but I go by. I'm just kidding.
oh, he said 11:30 Eastern, so that's 10:30 for me. I'm in Central. Okay, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry.
Great.
Um,
Late
uh,
show. It's gonna be.
yeah. But I do appreciate everybody for hanging out. I know Beefit's been here for the majority, and everybody that stopped by and stuff. But that's kind of the point. I just wanted to have a chat and hang out and just talk about anything we wanted to talk about. We've talked about movies to Omnicron to
Cocaine.
yeah, horses and
J-
cocaine,
gel, gel on balls.
beanbags. Yeah, yeah,
Haunted farts.
yeah. Trying to
Human
figure out
hibernation.
Ren and Stimpy. um, This is nice. I like doing the highlights. Let's see what else, because I can't even remember everything. I don't know, but that's why, man. I thank everybody for showing up. Dank Comics. I have to add the description down below. But if you watch us on the rewind, it will be down below. Um, but I'll see y'all later, guys, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas if it applies. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, all that.
Kwanzaa.
If there's other, Feliz
Festivus.
Navidad,
Festivus for the rest of us.
yeah, Festivus for the rest of us. And I'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, guys, bye.